Hello, everybody. Welcome to MAG1 Live. Today we've got our Season 2 Group A to showcase today. Got four strong players lined up to start things off. I'm joined by Sako. How's it going, Sako?
Hello, hello. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm pumped. Season 1 was awesome, and
I
now we're up
agree.
in the ante. Twice the number of players, and yeah, I expect things to be pretty crazy. I mean, we got a new season on our hands here for Mechabellum. That's going to shake things up. We've got new units, new specialists. So yeah, pretty excited. So let's talk about our players today. We've got Cast, Guzzle, Mathismight, and I believe we're calling him B-Man Hunter. B-Man, of course, very strong and famous 201 player with a big following on Billy, and so a lot of players, follow his streams and like to snipe him and so on. And I believe we'll see a lot of different playstyles today. What are you excited about today, Sako?
Oh, I am so excited. I've played all these players recently a lot, and they're both all of them are very. They have a varied play style. Like a lot of them can play aggro. I think Mathis might play more standard than aggro from what I've seen, but Guzzle, the Beeman Hunter, and Cass all can play aggro at a high level. I think, and they all have their own unique style. I would say Cass is probably has the most unique style. Every time I
Yeah,
play him, he does like very weird pulls or like these interesting flanks. So you have to
yeah.
watch out when you're playing against a player like that for sure.
100%. He's an arrow Andy, he's clicking on all his units, he's looking at all the arrows, placing units in the flanks.
Yeah, if you ever end your deployment early, you can see Cass like Mo beaking half his crawler here,
I
his arc
know.
lights looking at flag, his Mustangs, like it's some crazy stuff's going over there.
Yeah, it's really intimidating. So I'm gonna go over the format really quick. So we're gonna have 5 matches today. We're gonna have 3 matches be best of ones, and then after that, 2 matches be best of threes. And so basically, we have 4 players, and only 2 of them are gonna get through. We have 4 groups in total. Today's just Group A. So we're basically going to take it down from 16 players to 8 through this group process. And then we'll have 2 more broadcasts to, settle the final 8 and the final 4 and declare a winner. So we're just getting started here. And up first, we have Cast, who's from Finland, against Guzzle, who is a kind of upcoming new strong 201 player. So that'll be pretty interesting. Possibly some headbutt potential there, some aggro play styles. Of course, both players know Raiden is, all the hot stuff right now. So we will see about that.
What have you seen though be like an optimal counter to this new unit, the Raiden?
Raiden's pretty good against Raiden. No,
Besides the obvious, just do the mirror, but better. But
yeah, I mean, pretty much we can go through every single anti-air unit and discuss how we feel about them. I think Marksman has the upside that, it prioritizes air by like, what is it, 30 or 40 meters. So, of course, that can be pretty good. Phoenix is like very similar to Marksman, I would say. You know, Phoenixes are a little bit more deploy efficient, so you can sort of get more gas going quickly. Melting Point, like, if the Raidens get big, that's kind of your friend there. So you don't take like a million years to shoot one down. Mustangs are always solid, and of course they're the chaffiest, and that's good because sometimes your marksmen just get like shot down. And what else am I missing? Like Raiden and Overlords, of course.
Typhoons, I guess, but
Overlords, yeah.
that's a little bit dicey.
Overlords, I'm not sure. I haven't quite tried that out. The new Overlord is really big, like has a lot of HP, like 40% increase. So I could see it being big enough to put up a fight against Raiden. I'm sure a lot of it comes down to like, the chaff battle
And do you
and
get
Ulok
EMP'd
Khan.
also?
Yeah,
Is the main
exactly.
concern, I think.
And they both care about techs a lot, right? Like Overlord without techs, terrible. Raiden, I wouldn't say it's terrible, but it really does like to have those techs.
Yeah, for sure. And the Overlord takes a little bit longer to get online and like is dependent on text. The Raiden is still decent without text, but compared to the boat, but yeah, for sure they both need a little bit to get going.
Yeah. I figure we should just talk about pretty much all the new season 2 stuff. So let's talk about the new specialist training SPC. I think it's really good. What do you think about it?
I haven't had played much, so I don't really have like a definitive opinion, but it does seem very strong. Obviously, in the Raiden mirror, you can get a level 2 Raiden, and they can't. But if you do get a Stonk module, it does feel like the game is a little bit favored on your end. So I think if the cards go right, it can be a really good specialist. Um, but I don't have full experience to really know like how to min max. Like, do you level your crawler round one and go for like some early tempo there? Do you level your arc lights if you're defending, that type of thing?
Yeah, I think it's a really well designed SPC for that reason. Like you can level your crawler, your marksman, your arclight. Those are all solid options, of course. And then that spell just interacts with the game in a really interesting way, right? Because with unit drops, you can sort of always one up your opponent. You're threatening to level up your flanks. You can sort of, any local battle, you can one up it. So I think it's really strong. I don't think enhancement module should really exist as like something that just benefits way too much from that, but it is what it is there. So another change was Sabretooth. Now, I don't think the redesign was super important. That's just my opinion. Like, okay, sure, it's slightly better against big stuff, but like, you know, and then there's the new tech. But what is more interesting is the fact that it's a starting unit and that you can buy it at any time now. Of course, it has a pretty similar role to Phoenix, but of course tankier. What's your thoughts on Sabretooth now?
I've been really liking Sabretooth just in general, last patch, but I would say so Spider this basically kills Spider aggro, I would say. Like besides the fact that it can come in the starting spec, but you can unlock it yourself immediately, shutting down most of the tempo that the Spider player has. I think that will make like yeah, Spider aggro pretty uh not viable whatsoever, I think. But what's interesting is the Sabretooth aggro, I think, may be one of the strongest packs. Of course, in this meta, you probably sell it for Raiden eventually, but I think just the Sabretooth tempo alone can be insane because it does have a lot of DPS and it has the potential to um, double its DPS basically. So you can just take that early tempo with a high HP, and then it's hard to get into forts, scorpions, anything on the ground basically, unless there's like a unit drop that can contest it. So I think it's really interesting and maybe one like aggro packs at the moment.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. And then on the balance front, we have Wasp Drive, or Jump Drive, sorry, going from 50 to 100. That's obviously very, very big and will impact some of our later players like Red Hair, Flower Fairy. So I'm excited to see if Wasp will still be a mainstay. Like, I think it's still useful, but obviously we're in a certain point where Raiden is just really all of the buzz right now.
Yeah, I've seen Guzzle and Beeman Hunter both still buy the Wasp round two, but they don't. They more so threaten jump drive, but they don't really click it. They just have like one little Wasp on the weak side tower or flank or something like that. So we'll see how it goes. I'm a fan of the change. Like I don't think it really needed a nerf per se, but like you do see round two Wasp very frequently on aggro and defending players if they know what they're doing. I think.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think that they're like okay against Raiden? Like they're 12 bodies with energy shield, potentially.
If you go chain I feel like you'd probably like it's good until the chain tech comes out. So I don't know. I don't think you want like you're thinking, oh, if I buy some wasp chaff, I don't. I think those just get deleted. Like maybe they get deleted less fast than your the rest of your army, but I don't. I don't know. I really don't know how the
Hmm.
wasp matchup. Like I don't think you try to buy wasps. You just buy more Raidens and arcs. I think, unfortunately.
Yeah, and if it's asymmetric, you favor something like Fang Shield.
Yes, I think that's the crucial thing in the mirror. Like you just don't buy crawler, just only buy Fang Shield basically because they're also
Yeah,
going arc lights. So you just take that mirror and take that advantage.
yeah, it's way more efficient than Wasps if you're not afraid of the ground battle, because you get 18 bodies instead of 12, and you pay half the amount. So way more efficient chaff
Yes,
there.
for sure.
But yeah, we'll see if it's an arms race today, because that's sometimes how it goes. I think you do need to identify if you're losing the arms race of Raidens and go a little bit asymmetric.
I think you always want in any type of mirror. I think you always want to stack as many resources to one side as possible, just so you can
Yeah,
guarantee winning one side. Because if you ever try to split and try to defend your weak side tower, things like that, you might lose and have bad tower timings, and they might have more of the armor together, etc.
for sure. Have you been watching any like Cast or Guzzle? Have they been using Raiden?
Guzzle and B-Man were doing scrim, or B-Man Hunter were doing scrims, basically doing Raiden mirrors. And I played B-Man Hunter on ladder, and he also it was a Raiden mirror. So There's a good chance that
Okay.
we see a Raiden mirror. Cass might be the more uh, try to counter you type of thing, but he
Yeah.
also might just like realize maybe I should just Raiden mirror back because at the moment this unit does still feel pretty strong.
Yeah. Cast has like some really cool strategies he's been doing recently, so I could see him trying to like disturb the meta and not just, play the meta. Like he loves his worms, he loves his sledgehammers. I think worms have potential against Raidens, especially if they're not running ionization tech, which does percentage damage. So we'll see if he might have been practicing in Seek. I feel like he's a good tournament player too. Like I feel like he's the type of guy who would plan something.
Yeah, he was telling me, yo, you gotta play like this. We gotta do this plan. I'm gonna try this strat. Okay, so he's ready to go. He's not messing around here.
Yep, and he might have to reveal his hand right away because we're starting up our first game here, and if he's got some secret strategies, everybody else is watching too, and he's gonna have to play again after this. So we'll see. I think
What
you know.
is
Go
What's
ahead.
interesting is Guzzle. We were doing scrims, and every time we would start the match, you'd see a little spectator guy pop up, and it was the Guzzle. So Guzzle may have had some research done. Some cast may have fooled him with some really troll strategies. Perhaps this is a little back lore, but
That is
round
true.
one rhinos, you might be thinking are good, and cast might do it. We will see.
Yep. So while we're loading up here, let's go over some player information. So Cass is from Finland. He's been around for a long time. There's some other strong Finnish players in the region, of course, Monks and Surrey. So it's really cool to see this high density of talent in Finland. He's earned some of the most, I mean, maybe the most money in all of Mechabellum because he won, I believe it was DreamHack. I don't know if that was in Sweden or where was that, but yeah, he won that, which is huge prize pool there. And Guzzle's a bit of a new blood into Mechabellum. He's from China. His description is leader of B-Man haters. Now, I don't know if B-Man haters is like a clan or if it's more of a joke of like people that stream snipe him because I know stream sniping B-Man is quite popular. And he enjoys a flexible and varied style, which is what you were saying. He does do a bit of both.
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
prefers aggro. It feels like he likes to do spicy strats, but he definitely, I think he does have a strong standard understanding as well.
hmm Now, these stats we have on screen here, what do you think about that? I mean, not much of a difference there between Guzzle and Cast. Actually, pretty similar numbers overall, I'd say.
Yeah, the only one that stands out is the B-Man Hunter, but yeah, they're fast games. It feels like as well. 16 minutes, I believe.
Yep. So here we are jumping into the game. We have Training Specialist, which jumps out to me. Pretty decent units as well. I mean, Arclights, of course. Sledgehammers to tank for your Raidens.
Yeah, trading spec feels like it comes with arc light. You know, how can you say no to that? And I think supply spec from Guzzle feels like the optimal pick.
Oh, he
Although it
wants
looks
the
like he might
missile.
want to push. I think right. You push with this pack.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, that's pretty nice. I mean, both players, no chaff, 3 Arclights each. So now there's already a question of are you buying chaff? I think you could buy fangs and feel pretty safe about it. And we
Yeah,
have
I
the
think fangs
intensive.
for both sides.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Where's the intensive going? Arclight? Marksman? I think you could buy a marksman here. Level it.
Yeah, the problem with intensive training against a push that's usually an ASIM push is you don't know which side they're on. So like, do you intensive the middle arc light? Do you intensive the marksman and gamble? It's a bit of a yeah. I don't know what you do with this. I
It's a fair
like maybe
point.
save it is also another thing you could do. I don't know if that's optimal. I don't know how to
I
play this training
see
spec yet.
I see players doing it. I think it's sort of like a higher variance way to play because you might get like a barrel like free unit drop round two, and then you're pretty happy you have the insane flexibility. But I think in some cases you really do want to get it going. Like it is mathematically efficient to use it, right? Because you're doubling your stats for half the cost of a unit, right? It's like you do want to level things up.
Interesting. It looks like there's a bit of switch in strategy here. We're going back to a standard
Yeah, and
gameplay.
both players going crawlers despite there being 3 Arclights out. So
The
I mean I
crawler
don't.
thing is like, is my opponent pushing me or not? It's the safe bet basically, because in standard you'd probably want crawlers round one.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know if we'll see Raidens this game based on what I'm looking at, but I mean, they're still fine, right? They're never terrible.
Yeah, I think if it's a standard match, Raiden doesn't feel as exciting. I think because you want to close the gap. Like if marksman AA is the answer, pushing through like having to walk up enables the marksman and the arc lights to kill your entire team. I think. So maybe it'll be a worm game from Cast. We will see.
Yep.
He did save.
He does love the worms. We have 2 missiles coming up here for Guzzle. I'm curious to see how that will play out. We have sledges, of course, so kind of a decent target. You know, you do get, a good 10,000 plus damage out of it.
The unit drops are here. Seems like it
Yeah,
might be a marksman pick from both sides. I don't know. It feels pretty strong. You need some DPS from both sides.
I'm usually a big fan of taking like something with a high level, just because they're like pretty efficient to Mechabellum. Like Stormcaller is good in the sense of you are getting 50 credits unlocked for something you might want to unlock anyways. So I could see that logic. I think Fire Badger and Standard not really the play here. Fangs are like good chaff, but you don't care about the levels on them and they feed experience. So yeah, I'm looking at Stormcaller or Marksman, I think.
Yeah, the Badger can be good in standard as like a tempo thing, but of course into the Sabertooth probably not smart.
hmm Using both missiles here, damaging the sledges, probably gets a few crawlers as well. So I would say pretty efficient use of the SPC here.
I think you actually want to hit the crawlers here because you could one-shot the sledges already with the Saber, and then if you kill the crawler pack, their Arclight Sledge is like wide open for your DPS units to do stuff.
Yeah, I could see either way. I think with a nice min-max, you actually only leave like 10 crawlers alive anyways, which your arc lights finish really, really quick. So I think either missile use is good. I think he's still deciding whether to use 1 or 2 here. I don't mind either. I tend to lean towards 1 here, just because it's not a super high impact missile.
Yeah, that's another thing. I also don't know how to min-max missile spec. I usually think you want to use them at the same time if you like, because you know there's going to be no more juicy targets. Like there's no like drop coming turn 3 that you have to worry about, like it's a Wasp or a Mustang type of thing.
Yep. So the intensive was used on a marksman, so he's already got 5 levels worth of marksman on the battlefield already on round 2. Quite a good start. In fact, both players are up to 5 total levels of marksmans.
It definitely helps with the Sabertooth. Level 1 marksmen aren't efficient with the Sabertooth level 1, but of course
Yep.
level 3 and 2 do with everything pretty efficient.
Looks like a round win for Guzzle with the missile spec here, but only 200 damage. I think Cass is pretty happy with that. He has a really good long-term value of his own with the intensive training. Assault Vulcan, Electromagnetic Impact, Mass-Produced Wraith, and Mobile Beacon. I feel like I'm not looking at any of those. Like, might be
Yeah,
too early, right, to pick on any of those.
EMP is like a nice. There's some people who like to like just hold EMP and just wait for text because it can be strong. But even in this board today, I think EMP is maybe not that impactful. But like if you're going Wasp or Mustang, then for sure
Yeah,
it's good to pick up. But here, I don't know.
I've definitely seen standard players especially pick it and just slow down your units that are not even teched yet, just because they want it later, right? I personally not
Yes.
a huge fan of that, but yeah, especially because you know it's there, so you just won't clump up your units and stuff.
If it
But yeah,
was
we
a
just need to
rated
get
push type of scenario, you probably always want to take that card just to have it because you
yeah.
can't really play around that EMAG Blast.
So we see Fangs here for Guzzle, just setting up his standard chaff. Late Fangs, of course, will be quite good in the end of the battle, because there's marksmans shooting marksmans. Second missile comes out, pretty much hitting the same spot. I'd say it's slightly more min-maxed here. Should get a few more crawlers. Storm's coming out. They seem pretty good, I think. I mean, this is turning into a really standard game here.
Yeah, it's the basically one of the only ways to deal with late fangs efficiently, right? You gotta pull out your
Yeah.
storms.
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, because he bought storms anyways, he could have taken the storm from the free unit drop and been 50 supplies ahead. But of course, it's not apples. It's a bit apples to oranges because getting a level 3 marksman is like a very unique thing. So Both plays seem strong to me.
Arclight Rainzo picked up from Guzzle, so that should allow him to win the chaff war here.
Yeah, very big power spike to get early, and helps you get the experience going too, which is a lot harder to get, by the way. But it looks like we do have a level on both Arclights here. Getting up to blue, I feel, is a really big breakpoint. Like, percentage-wise, you are doubling your Arclight. So that's very, very good for Guzzle here. Really opens up the lines for him as well.
Yeah, I like also. I'm usually not too much of a fan of marksman in standard, and having the arc lights level 2 allows your arc lights to beat their arc lights, which is also big. So
Yes,
having that is, I think, super important in standard.
100%. Super supplies for both players. I think round 4, I imagine the pick rate must be through the roof, right? Like with standard players.
Yeah, in standard v standard, I think you have to take it basically because
Yeah,
in standard you can play more of the greedy long game compared to like a push. In aggro, I usually like to skip it if I can and just tempo them out of the game, but of
yep,
course in standard it's going to be a long one, I think.
for sure. So he's still got his intensive here. By the way, what do you think about this Stormcaller near the H pad here? Is that like he ran out of time, or like it looks novel to me?
I think it's the missile strike is in the game, so I gotta like be a little bit mindful of that
Okay.
maybe because
Yeah, yeah, that's good
it's
thought there.
it's a little bit hard to play around because storms like missile strike isn't good unless there's like units that are ideal to hit like stormcallers or mustangs, so it's a
Yeah,
tricky one. I think you just tank it is my conclusion. I used to think you it's so because you also want to min max your deploys for now, so
yeah, yeah. So we got a Arclight. And he's ahead in Arclights, whereas bottom is ahead in Marksmans and Storms. It's probably going to be pretty good tempo for Guzzle still for a while, although he has no Missile Strike anymore, and a lot of chaff is coming on the board, so we'll see. More Arclights picked up here for Cast. Cast so far has not done anything spicy, which is normally his playstyle, maybe perhaps waiting for the next unit drops.
yeah, this level 2 Sabretooth should tank a little bit too as well, I think. It's
Yeah,
only
good
level
power
2
spike.
marksman.
Yeah, we'll see how the Storms do, because that's the unique advantage here for Cast. The Fangs are really spread out, by the way, in the back. Look at that. Saber's going down, so the tank line is gone. Pretty close battle here. Still a bunch of Fangs around. Really good trickle here for Cast at the end.
These laid fangs are disgusting. Like, I think you need HE storms if you really want to deal with these.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 of them here for Guzzle, and they're really well placed, and I don't know why, but they're spreading out a lot too.
The way Cast's board is positioned as well, I think he's creating a lot of splits, it looks like.
Yeah, something you really got to be mindful of. Quick cooldown might be the nuts. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. The problem with also training spec and standards, like, do you want to Giga level marksman, but then you lose to Worm and you lose all your investment? So it could be good, but also you probably just want to get Worms out and maybe use that on the Worm.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's good for Guzzle as well, right? Like missile spec. He's gonna have missiles for days.
That's right, for sure.
And yeah, as we talked about, there's storms everywhere. So it actually seems really, really powerful to me. Like you pay 150, sure it's very expensive, but it's like you get an extra missile per turn, basically, which is dealing 200 supplies or more. So but yeah, Guzzle skips it. Doesn't want to have like it's also good long-term value too, right? Like you can start picking up spells.
Hey, Tower Oil as well. You can min max and get a Firestorm going and just like
Yeah.
burn
So pretty fascinating skip there.
this board everyone for free.
Did Cass take it? Cass did take it. They have a lot of money as well, right? This is a super supply game, so I don't know if that means the player damage will start going up. I think it more depends on if we start seeing some more bigger units. There's the worm. Here we go, intensive, as you pointed out. On the worm, very strong target there. A lot of HP per supplies. And not a strong answer yet. We do have a Saber, and he's actually putting it on the level 2 Saber side. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, the Saber doesn't have like insane DPS for a level 2 worm, but yeah, if you had to min max it, perhaps. But maybe he's trying to like he sees an opening. I would say what's interesting here is with the Arclight nerf, I really don't know how much it impacts Arclight carry, but it does feel like now the game may revolve more about worming earlier than later,
Yeah, for sure. Worms
which is
are
we're seeing the difference here.
100%. Yeah, I mean, the levels will slow down on the arcs. Worms, I think, have been very cemented as a strong standard unit at this point. And look at the impact of this thing. Like, it's just unkillable. You can put it near the Saber, and there's no problem. The oil, you mentioned that oil with quick cooldown is going to be a play here, and looks like he's already committed to it.
And the thing with intensive worm is you kind of have to respect, like it's going to be hard to do Fortress into it. Fortress is already a little bit dicey, like you need a DPS tech. But since he will always have the level advantage, you basically have to go War Factory or Melter. And
Yeah.
those are both very good lines. It just feels like you're kind of now forced to go that angle instead of before you'd be like, oh, maybe I can get away with a Fortress and that's good enough. Or I can mirror worm, something like that.
Yeah, it's a really good point. And like to add on to that, let's say portable shield drops and you have like a level 5 worm. Like War Factory won't even be enough at that point. Like you may need balls or melter, right?
Yeah. It's War Factor is not an easy answer as well. You got to get it down the right time. You also don't want to burn too much econ, stuff like that. But look at this missile strike. Like if Guzzle took quick supply or quick
I
cooldown,
know.
he
Why
could have
did he
been
not pick
sending
it?
in nukes.
I'm upset, Sacco. I'm upset. I think Cast will take one of them, right? Like he doesn't care about the firepower control system, I don't think.
I've seen him put it on worm. You know, like it could
Oh,
be
really?
because like you have an intensive worm, and all the
Hmm.
matchups like you can just tempo them out. Like if you have the higher level unit, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually makes sense, especially if you go like sudden strike or something. But it looks like he's gonna take the spell here. Makes a lot of sense. He has quick cooldown, so only a cooldown of 3 rounds for this really, really impactful spell. And it's already pretty strong up front, right? Getting rid of double teched arc lights.
And this spell, when it comes off the second time, should you just make your money back because the opponent's gonna have to invest like what 3 shields, 4 shields, perhaps, if they really want to secure their
Yeah.
board.
And both players being rich from super supply, I think really makes spells make more sense, right?
Yes, for sure.
I think the richer you are, the more assets that are on the board, the better spells just are in general. Ooh,
Wow.
the Raidens. Here we
This is
go.
interesting. Not that many people I think run Ion. Like I think it's either Fork or Ion if you're gonna have to choose, but that looks like it's his worm answer.
Yep. So just reading ionization here, for those who don't know it, it decreases Raiden's attack by 70%, but attacks will cause an additional damage equal to 40% of the target's current HP. So this is a sort of a unique ability. It's a bit like Ignite, except it's current HP instead of max. So you still need something to finish it off. Well, it's looking pretty good so far, right? And it's an air threat. There are marksmans though.
Interesting. Cast went for replicate because he assumed like the default answer would be Melter into level 2 worm, but I think replicate's maybe not that strong now that Guzzle has went for the Raiden.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that one. Do you even like replicate in standard?
Yeah, replicate's insane. Like if they go Melter, you go replicate. Like that's like the go-to tech because the Melter
Really?
will lock
Interesting.
the little guys and then your worm ends up going in because it forces the Melter player to have to literally go suck to frack if they want to kill like this Giga worm. So
Ah,
I like
interesting.
to play, but like there's this new unit and not a lot of people use Ion, I think, from my understanding.
Yeah, yeah.
So this
Not.
should be interesting.
Yep. There's balls. I mean, they are an alternative to melters, but he's in Raidens already, so he doesn't really need sort of like a ramp up percentage damage here. So maybe he's looking at a sell option or Farseers, but I do think balls, just as tanks, are not the worst in standard.
I think you actually maybe don't want the balls. It'll just feed XP to the worm because the worm can kill level 2
Mm-hmm.
balls, I think, with level 2 worm.
100%. But like none of the other drops look amazing. So what are you looking at here for
You're
Guzzle?
also yeah, I really don't know. All these to me is like just figure out a way to sell these units. I guess the
Yeah,
Fark
yeah,
here is nice to have. But like balls are
yeah.
gonna just feed XP to the arc lights, which you may not want.
There's the
Um,
Fang Shield. Pretty early commit on that.
Tank Shield looks insane here into the worm and into the arc light.
Still questions around where the intensive will be going. Like, now that there's ionization out, that may change where intensives are going, right?
It looks like Cass is doing a bit of a pivot. I think it looks like he's done worming. He saw the
Yep.
Iron Raiden, and he said now it's marksman carry, and he's got a level 5 marksman with elite, so he is getting his value there.
Yeah, I like his line, but he's going to see the Fang shield here and be like, "Oh crap, I need way more chaff clear." And then what do you think he's gonna do? Buy more storms, or maybe just more arc lights?
This is the problem of standard. Fang Shield is basically impossible to kill efficiently because storms is what you do, but then like Mustang AM is very strong. Even AM devices are
Yeah,
strong at shutting that down. So maybe he has to go his own Mustangs. We will see. But
yeah, very
interesting, there's a
interesting.
shooting squad. So with the Fang Shield turn, there's a bunch of Fangs, but there's also Fangs coming out of the marksman, out
Oh
of the
yeah,
3 marksmen.
yeah, nice little combination there. It's definitely got the chaff lead and obviously the air lead, so quite some unique advantages here for Guzzle. Although things are not looking terrible. Of course, the marksmen are a pretty good answer to the Raidens. DPS output looking pretty good.
Yes. So it looks like this game is going to be marksman carry versus arclight carry, more or less. And we'll see how Guzzle responds to that.
I suppose, but you don't think there's going to be like a Raiden? Like, do you think he could buy 3 Raidens here and tech it again as
I
an
think
alternative line?
if you clicked Ion, at this point, I don't know if you can commit to Raidens because you need range
Yeah,
and then you might need chain. Like it doesn't feel like it's the line you want here.
yeah, makes sense. Cast picking Orbital Javelin makes 100% sense because he has quick cooldown, so he's just getting more spells here in his arsenal,
Yeah, and
and
if you
pretty
kill this
nice.
Raiden, the worm will just disrupt the entire right side.
Yeah, there's a huge imbalance on the board now. That's another problem Guzzle has to deal with, and there's not a lot he can do about it. Like, he can sell a Raiden and, like, beacon another one, but pretty sketchy overall. Guzzle has been taking his time a lot more on the cards, which I like to see. Goes for the advanced shield. I think that makes some sense. We'll see. Yeah, he's already got multiple shields out.
So he is going for extra Raidens, which ends up being convenient. He'll probably be able to kill this worm once his um, left Raiden goes down.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, he is in arc carry, so like he had 2 routes he could have gone there. But yeah, I'm not sure why he specifically chose the Raiden. I think the balls were already fairly handled by the Arclights. So
Yeah,
maybe he just
perhaps he's worried about like
feels,
more worms because you kind of need more Raidens if that's the
yeah,
option. If you're on 900 HP, you can't really afford to like react. You kind of have to like make some reads here and there.
yeah. And I guess if he didn't do this turn, he'd only have 1 Raiden total, right?
Yes.
1 Raiden cannot handle like the potential level 4 worm that was possible there. Oh, definitely a big chaff war going on. Pretty much Arclights and like a little bit of storms is what's doing all the chaff clearing. And then at the end we'll have Raidens versus Marksmans and Arclights. Worm down on the right, and Worm about to go down on the left. Pretty much just the chaff now and the ranged units.
It's looking good for Cass.
I think so. Yeah, the Marksmans are very, very safe.
Yeah, with the elite marksman and the added range, you're far away from Raiden splashing onto you if there's ever like a chain click.
Yep. And Orbital Javelin was skipped there, correct? Yeah, because he took Advanced Shield Device. Yeah, so really big difference there in spells. And I mean, they were both spell SPCs, which I absolutely love as a thing now. Even though I'm like I don't like spells. I think it's a really I'm just sick of them being like, all right, Badger SPC, this unit SPC, that
Yeah,
unit
it's a new
SPC.
play style or a new way to approach the
Yeah,
game or min max for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. I mean, look at us discussing like how do you best optimize both of these SPCs, right? Missile and intensive. It is very interesting.
Yeah, I don't think it's figured out yet either. It's mainly the trading spec. I don't fully know. Obviously, it's a new spec, so like there's a lot to figure out. But
Yeah. So Cass taking down Guzzle here, really kind of an interesting game, like Raiden's in standard. Quick cooldown's always fun. So that gives Guzzle 1 more life left. He must win his next game. And up next, we're going to have our next 2 players. That's going to be B-Man Hunter going up against Mathismight. Now, Mathismight, I believe, is also a relatively new blood, similar to Guzzle. Reading his file here, he joined in August 2024. So, about 4 or 5 months under his belt. That's really impressive that he's risen to the top of ladder just in that small time frame.
Yeah, he's a bit of a grinder. I always see him on. He's ready to go. And I think before he used to just play a lot of Vulcan and Markson, but I would imagine with the metas evolving, the Arclight Worm will take over that playstyle in standard. But yeah, he's very solid player. I think
Yeah,
prefers playing standard and defense. I don't think I've ever seen him push. Like maybe he pushed once, like during the spider meta, because like everyone kind of pushed during the spider meta. You're like, this unit's so good, let me just push with it. But should
yeah,
be exciting to see like the contrast in playstyle compared to B-Man Hunter, which he's a very solid standard player, but I think he also has, or he's more likely to be pushing you.
yeah. So on his player profile I'm reading here, it says a hot take from him is that the game needs a slow air unit. So he thinks that Wraith could have lost 6 speed and gained some range. It's actually really interesting because part of what he wanted took place, right? It wasn't quite -6 speed, but the Wraith did become a little bit slower and got more range. So possibly he's in the mind of the developers there.
Yeah, that
And
was I remember that being a disgusting meta. The wraiths were just like always leveling every turn. It was just killing all your units, and like laser sight was 40 meters as well. So you put that on a
oh,
wraith, it was just
yeah,
the beast. Like it was so scary to play against. I think, from what I remember, at
yeah.
least.
Old Laser was something else, man. 40 range, like
Imagine
that.
that on a Raiden right now. Like I'd be
Yeah,
so tilted. Your tower's getting sniped from spawn. Like oh no.
yeah. Multi melter's also never been better than nowadays,
hmm
and that was
Yeah,
always one of the scariest Exodias.
yeah, because you can't even contest it with like a normal melter because he has more, or like you'll have like competitive range with you.
Yep. So Mathis might. I'm just looking at the stats here. B-Man Hunter, we talked about earlier, has the highest win rate among these four players, 68%. That is pretty crazy. Almost 2,500 MMR as well, which is incredibly hard to get up to. So possibly the favorite here. I don't have a lot of experience with both these players. I have played Math on the ladder, and he's a very solid player. Obviously less experienced than most of the players in this tournament overall, but certainly no slouch.
I
And
think Beeman Hunter's been around for a while, like from maybe close to the beginning, from what I remember.
yeah, yeah, it is nice to see these new bloods grinding lots of games. I mean, Cast and Math had almost 500 wins, I think, in the first seasons. Like they're grinding hard. They both deserve to be here. Cass getting the win, very well deserved given how much grinding he's been doing, all the innovation. Very nice to see. I mean, Worm was the spirit animal, so getting a win with that, very exciting.
I think Mathis might also had the highest comment power last season, from what I remember.
Yeah,
But he's
wouldn't
definitely
surprise me.
he doesn't mess around.
Yeah, how many Grandmasters did we get, by the way, in total? Did you pay attention to that?
I really did not pay attention to comment power. I think it was like 20-ish. I don't know the actual number, but probably around that
Yeah,
mark.
yeah, that's crazy. B-Man and Woot had that crazy showdown to see who could get it first, and I imagine Mathis Might was not too far behind. So we're loading up into this game here. Um, B-Man Hunter, I am very curious to see if he'll be doing some aggro or not.
I
Uh,
think we're gonna see some Raiden push is what I my prediction from Beeman Hunter, at least.
sorry, his name is Shark Hunter, I guess, but Shark is B-Man's name, right? So I think you could call him B-Man Hunter, I guess, but I'll start
Oh,
calling him
sorry.
Shark Hunter.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So
Some would call
B-Man's
him
name.
P-Man also, perhaps.
So B-Man's name is Shark Rookie, right?
Mhm.
And Shark means pro, basically, for Chinese. So he's basically like his name translates to like a pro noob, sort of like an oxymoron. So pretty funny that pretty funny that Shark gets to be like its own naming scheme just because of this Chinese translation. Some more information here about him. So Shark Hunter has 4,000 followers on Bilibili, but he doesn't stream super often. Like somebody I know, Sako.
Rare streams, they definitely happen.
Wait, he's even more similar to you. He says in his general ability is that he can't stop playing games.
I've never played this game. I know what you're talking about. I don't know about the Raiden meta. What do you mean?
All right, we're loading in here. No training specialists. Do see a lot of sabers. Typhoon
Typhoon spec
specialist.
looks
Yeah,
really good for Shark Hunter.
low HP, but pretty good pack here. Amplifying specialist is a fun one as well. But no, playing things pretty standard here.
I also just feel like giant spec stonks have gone up because there's like good giant units now
Yeah,
that
for
you
sure.
want, right? The Raiden and the boat.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the SPC in theory isn't bad. I also don't know if the change in reinforcements are going to help or hurt Giant Spec, because a lot of the problem with Giant Spec is literally just the unit drops, right?
Yeah, that's fair. How does the unit drops impact giants? Because is there like less giants in the drops? I know it's like less rare drops occur, like high level Mustangs, high level Sabers. They're
Yeah.
reduced and they're not as common. So does that mean because you can still get giants what round 3, I think, 400 supply?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't know if they will be impacted or not. Like certainly from the description of the patches, you would assume that there is almost no change to them. I mean, maybe there's high level giants that aren't showing up, but the thing is that this whole unit drop system is kind of like a black box because it's so complicated and therefore they can't fit the complexity into the patch notes. So it's one of those things where you just got to wait and see. Hopefully eventually like we get a nice website that just like documents everything for us.
Yeah, or even just like showing all the variations. Like you can do it in
Yeah,
training grounds if you really wanted to, but just showing all the variations, what can happen, can also just enable players to have the better strategy.
for sure. So Shark Hunter here going for an aggro. Nice to see 201, really adapting into this playstyle. Perhaps we had a bit of an impact on them from MAG1 Season 1.
Perhaps.
Perhaps,
I do like
perhaps.
it. I do like it. Like you have to push asymmetrically into Storm Start with this push, or like it's your optimal line. Like if you play this in standard,
Yeah,
the spec and the unit, like the Saber 2, just feels underwhelming, I think.
yeah, I agree. And like I think selling out of your sabers, like I feel like in standard selling out doesn't feel quite as good compared to aggro. I'm not sure if you feel the same way, but I think deploys matter quite a bit in standard.
Yeah, but it's also like the tempo approach. Like ideally, if you're playing full tempo, you don't sell any of your units and just have like HP damage and a lot of deploys on the board, and you close out the game like early.
Yeah,
So I guess it depends on like what approach you're going with.
yeah, exactly. Definitely a playstyle thing. So we get some drops here. Shield airdrop, always quite good. I don't think the other ones matter too much. Smart Arclight, maybe?
EMAG Blast could be a good read for Mathismight because you just assume you're getting Arclight Raiden pushed, I think. I don't know. But maybe
Yeah.
it's too early. You can't fit your ideal deploys. But usually round 3, you spend 350 on deploys. So it usually saves you enough for one of these blue spells.
Yeah. I mean, the cooldown is so low on these spells. Taking them early is really strong. So I would expect Shield airdrop is better than Skip at the very
Yeah,
minimum. Looks like both players agree.
Shield airdrop is also really strong on aggro because you can shield flanks, but also like attack from oil in that situation.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh boy.
But, oh boy.
We nerfed jump drive, guys. Why are we doing this?
It's still good, you
It
know?
is. I think it is better, or like more so justified for the defending player because I think jump drive is better for that. But
Hmm.
looks like the wasp read covers flank.
Yeah, look how open the tower was, too. The right tower is just completely exposed, but instead we're flanking.
It's a bit of mind games because you assume as that player would fortify the tower, so the
Yep.
wasp wouldn't do much. So you go for the flank, and that's faster, I think.
Yeah, it does make sense. I mean, Wasps do have a lot of DPS, so they would take down the tower in about, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of mind games. Now, probably he's going to sell the Wasp, right? You're not
You
jumping
might.
that thing out, right?
Yeah, that's I don't know. I took
Nah.
off jump drive with the 100 cost because I don't think it's worth it for one. Like I have jump drive on my Phoenix because I have two Phoenixes usually, and I can jump it around and it gets me value there. But one wasp jump drive like just feels bad because like the value of jump drive is you're doing it early, and do you really want to spend $100 like round 3 when you could be like building a board?
Yeah, exactly. These are really important turns here.
Oh, do you think he
Oh,
saw the any other unit?
I mean, did you see how fast he snap picked it?
The thing is, Raiden beats all unit drops because it's just like, oh, kills the sledges, kills the scorpion, kills the ray. Perfect, Raiden.
Yeah. I mean, Raiden is not bad tempo, and it's an Exodia, right? Which is a vicious combo.
And with Typhoon spec, that does feel very strong. I think. Like, of course,
Very strong.
in a Raiden mirror, you probably don't want the Typhoon. You want arc lights, but in this position, I really like this
Yeah.
pressure on the right side tower as well.
Yeah, I love this. The sell button did come out for the Wasp. Makes a lot of sense. Shark Hunter sold something as well. The Sabertooth, okay. I mean, Sabertooth, they are tanks for your Raidens, but like not the ideal one. So I do not mind this.
Interesting that Math went for the sledges because you have to know your opponent is taking the Raiden here, right? It feels like so, and sledges
Yeah.
like they I mean it is good to have bodies. It probably doesn't hurt to have bodies and you can sell it if you really need to, but into the raid and it's gonna end up not ideal, I think.
Yeah, it could be a bit of nerves here, honestly. Also, what do you think about saving the shield airdrop here?
He had to run out of time, you would think, right? Because why wouldn't you want the shield?
Yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, anything's possible. He might think it is just, the one cooldown isn't worth as much as the flexibility, perhaps. But yeah, it certainly could be timing out here. And I mean, this is just going to be an air loss, right? I don't think the Fangs have it in them.
Yeah, you had to have thought your opponent's going for the raid in here, but maybe he has a plan for this. Yes, maybe he's going boats. He is giant spec. He could do sledge boat, perhaps.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, boats are good against the Typhoons. That little bit of splash kills them pretty cleanly. But yeah, we talked about arm races earlier in the cast, and there's already quite an arms race lead here for the Raiden player. I mean, they've got Typhoons out, they've got Raidens out.
And you can't mess around with Raiden. I think you need the answer like immediately because
Yep, just like
like
boats.
I don't know what you do. Like from this point on, what do you do?
Yeah,
I just don't know how to give you an answer because there's nothing you can do. I think like I don't
yeah,
know. You're supposed to be doing this better than him, and you don't
yep,
have Raidens. Why did you take the Raidens? Like I don't know. It's unfortunately that what it's come down to here.
for sure. And there's no unit drops to help out because we just had one. Here's a nano repair kit. Will that go onto a Raiden here? Both players picking it up. Makes sense because we're giants on math here. Will we see the commit from Math onto Melter, onto Overlord,
Look at
perhaps
this
his own
round
Raid?
four board.
Yeah.
Triple Raiden.
Oh,
Oh, okay. This I think this can get there if you just spam fortresses with Fang Shield. I think that was one of the
yeah.
answers. You have to get it down early though, but like into nano repair might be a little bit sketchy, but
Yeah, I could see a world where this Nano has enough regeneration that he can take around here, just because a Raiden will have such a tough time finishing off the fortress. But I'm not sure. Like, I feel like a tower's going to go down on the right, and he does have a lot of units on the board. So we might see even more player damage here onto Math, and then I don't know if he'll have time to get out the necessary number of fortresses, because you really got to go wide with the fortresses, right?
yeah, I don't have personal experience or haven't seen it myself. Like do Fortress Anti or into Raiden, but because there's also Raiden has EMP tech. I don't know if that impacts things, right? But
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in theory, because like they did nerf the Raiden damage by 20%, it's only hits for
Mm-hmm.
5.3k. So perhaps the Fortress answer is even stronger now, or it should be stronger.
Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah, it might be an interesting matchup when things are even, but the Raiden player does have quite the lead, and the HP numbers are getting pretty scary here. The Wasp actually takes a level as well, but with
He
tower
didn't
going
defend the
down,
right side at all. He just hoped this
yeah,
nano fort is just gonna kill everything.
we already have a lot of damage on the field as well. I mean, if this fortress goes down, and it does, he's going to be taking a good 1,500 or so. And you've got to be feeling the pressure here.
Yeah, that's a bit crazy because he has to go like 3 more forts with end tier, but will that be enough for round 5? Oh, brutal.
Yeah, I don't.
Intensive training just to guarantee like the HP pool on the nano.
Yeah, true, true. I guess you can argue it's good for both players, but the thing is, like, maybe Math could scale if he had more HP total, but it really just comes down to tempo here. We will see. The shield airdrop is back for Shark Hunter as well. I mean, not hugely impactful, but it's something. Not a lot of chaff here for Shark Hunter, but he just doesn't really need it, I think. Loans coming out here for Math makes a lot of sense. He just needs to survive here.
It goes for the chain. This chain might even get like an early tower snipe on the right.
Oh
It's kind of
yeah.
scary. Like fortifying your towers might be like I think it's always good against a push, but
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
even more important into Raiden so you don't just like randomly lose your tower in 3 seconds.
Yeah, it makes sense. But obviously he needs every bit of money for units.
Yeah, yeah. There's only so much you can do. Like I really don't know what you do in Mathismight's position here. It's definitely very tough.
Yeah, I think the forts were probably not the play. I do respect it. Like it does make sense if he had more
Mhm.
HP. But given his tempo situation, I would have tried Overlord, I think. Like possibly Melter, but
I think
probably
even
Overlord.
Overlord is. I just felt like there's so much tempo for the Raiden player at the moment. So Overlord,
Yep,
I don't
yep.
know.
Well, think about it though.
It's
The Nano
tough.
came, and Overlords have 40k HP, right?
That is true. That is true. Maybe that's the better line. But the real answer is Arclight rating yourself. I don't know what
Yeah,
to tell you. That's just what it is.
yep. Well, we're definitely getting a showcase of Raidens today, so that is cool to see. And we saw the new specialists as well. But looks like it will be a quick one here. Just
Like thing is, Mathis might actually wins left side if he doesn't lose tower. So like
yeah,
the 488 was probably eventually getting there, but unfortunately the tempo of the Raiden and of course the intensive into the nano
yep,
is definitely enough to close out the game here.
yeah, yeah. That Nano was really really powerful, but just the tower pressure too much here. So perhaps an expected result here with Shark Hunter being, having really nice stats here. It does take down Math quite a convincing fashion. And so now the winners will be playing against each other. So we're going to have Cast coming up against Shark Hunter next. That'll be pretty interesting. Arclight's definitely making a lot of appearances as well, like pretty much range Arclights every single game. I do like that they nerfed the Arclights, but perhaps they need to adjust like the attack interval.
Yeah, that's I think the selling point because like Arclight carry is
Yeah,
nice to do, but like you still want it as a base chaff clear on aggro and even on defense on in standard. Like every scenario where like Arclight's just better because you also don't lose any tempo, right? Like Mustangs can clear crawlers, but like on round 7, but then you're dead by round 7. Like Fire Batters are just a horrible unit, so you don't take that. Sledges don't clear crawlers. Vulcans is negative tempo to set up and has its own problems, so you end up just
yeah,
resorting to Arclights every game. It does feel like that.
yeah. I imagine eventually, maybe they'll just keep doing small nerfs and trying to get it to the correct place. But
What was it
yeah,
originally? 1.2, 1.1 attack interval. Now it's at 0.9, I think.
yeah, it was something really severe. And like sometimes Arclights attack really, really fast too, because like there's RNG of how quickly things attack. And like it looks comical when you get like a lucky variance and it attacks twice in like half a second, and I'm like, what the heck? Arclights should not be like machine guns here, but yeah,
And they have
I mean
decent DPS too. Like if you get a level or two into like balls, level 1 sledges.
that's the thing, right? They step into the lane of like marksman in this aspect. Like it would be good design if marksmans were like way more DPS than Arclights, but
Yeah, they just keep nerfing marksman into the ground. And thing is, even if you give its DPS back, like worms are still like a way to shut down the marksman. So I don't know. Marksman's in a weird spot. I don't like this unit at
yeah,
all. I think.
yeah, for sure. We'll be curious to see what they do. Of course, with season two just getting started, there will be a lot of changes coming down the pipeline. In the patch notes, it said boats are probably going to see more changes because they're just waiting for data.
Yeah,
on the
it's
new
so hard
overlord.
to like all their new balance stuff. It's hard to even assess because Raiden feels so strong at the moment that you don't even get to see the boats being oppressive because Raiden's is just better at the moment. I think because
Yeah,
boats
that's true.
feel so scary. Like they buffed its stats more than the cost that they did.
Yeah.
So and you apparently you can anti missile it, so maybe it's reasonably balanced in that way. I haven't
Mm.
fully experienced that, but just stat wise, like improved overlord is a disgusting card.
Yeah, it's so good for sure. I guess that's the problem with any like seasonal like when you do a big patch all at once is like the data is just going to be so hard to gather, right?
Mhm. Like
So,
Sabretooth is gonna be an insane starting pack, but it's also hindered by Raiden because it's hard to commit to Sabretooth because Raiden, so
mm,
you just end up selling them for Raidens. But after Raiden meta, you would imagine Sabretooth aggro is gonna be very high tempo and very strong.
yeah, tarantulas were like Saber's best friend for a couple patches there. Do you think that Arclight, like, do you think Arclight plus Saber is a good combo or no?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's like efficient chaff
Okay,
clear
cool.
and efficient tank slash GPS. So it's gonna be
Yeah.
like one of the best. It's gonna be the new spider push. Is gonna be the
Mm,
saber push. And how do you contest Sabretooth outside of Raiden? Like you have to go air yourself. You go early Phoenix, but like Phoenix is I think usually like get outscaled by Sabretooth. Like Sabretooth takes your tower, has HP on the ground, stuff like that. So
yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how that goes once that's figured out.
Yeah. I'm still a tarantula believer. Like, I know it just caught another nerf and it is starting to really feel painful. I do think it's more towards mid-level now, but I think it has some really unique and powerful things to it, almost Exodia level once you get it going deep enough. Like, let's say you have 10 tarantulas and you click that spider mine tech, like, there's just nothing else in the game that has that summon of
Yeah,
chaff and tanks, right?
yeah. Like I remember doing countering Sabretooths with countering using Sabretooth to counter spiders, and it works. And then but it gets to the point where there's like infinite mines, and then you need a mine answer on top of that. So
Yep.
it can be get to the point where it's scary. I just think the selling point of Spider, at least before, was the tempo you had, and with increasing
Mm,
tech prices, that hurt a little bit. But I think with the starting cards and the fact that you can like shut down spiders by just like round two saber of your own, like it does feel
hmm.
hard to keep pushing. Like yeah, in theory, if you keep buying spiders with mines, you should beat the saber tooth. But like, do you really want to just take all that tempo loss? I think I don't know. It's obviously not
Yeah.
that like black and white, but it does feel. I feel a little bit scared to like even like spiders feel like the Mustang opener now. I don't know. I'm scared to. I don't want to touch that unit anymore. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fair for sure. I think no one knows for sure exactly how bad tarantulas will be, and like we said, Raiden is just messing up the whole ecosystem right now. But for me personally, I think Mustangs are just way too scary to start with. I think they have even worse matchups and worse variants overall.
I
Like
even
basically, go ahead.
sorry. Go. You go ahead.
Okay, I think Mustangs are just killed by everything in the game, which is what's so sad. Like literally every aspect of the game kills Mustangs. Like fire, missile strike, like sentry missile, like it just like everything kills
Even
it.
I tried intensive training Mustang. I'm like, ooh, this will be good. I'll go round one Mustang, spicy, right? And it was into Fang board. And then I'll go round two, new Mustang, blue, right? It'll
Yep,
be
yep.
a great. It'll be beautiful. It'll be amazing. Everyone has arc lights and everyone has crawlers. I can't kill crawlers, and obviously arc lights kill Mustangs. So like,
Yep.
it's not even good then. Like if Mustangs are going to be good, then it should be in that. But honestly,
Yeah.
I don't know if I hate that because Mustangs are very scary, hard to balance, etc. Like Mustang late game is just the best if it lives and doesn't get flamed. So
Yep.
I don't necessarily hate that position that Mustangs are in, but yeah, Mustang openers do not take unless you want to lose. I think.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right, we're into the next game here. Nothing jumping out to me. Oh, looks like Supply Specialist was jumping out here to Shark Hunter. Pretty low HP start here, but very strong specialist and decent tempo, depending on what he's up against here. Cass taking his time. He's got a very healthy pack on Elite, but just no chaff there, so I don't think that's coming out.
Yeah, Sabretooth and Farseer both look good. Farseer is like the better spec, I guess you'd say, because 300 supply and Farseer is a decent tempo unit, but
Yep.
interesting. Looks like he's probably setting up for a standard game, and looks like
Yeah.
we're getting a standard game from both sides.
Yep. Somewhat mirrored of boards here. Could be even more mirrored if we see Marksman coming out here for Shark Hunter, but not sure he would go for that here.
I think there's good odds that you take the marksman here. It's the best tempo move. Like you need a way to kill sledges. If you
Yep,
buy more
yep.
chaff, I think you lose compared to marksman.
Yep, he goes for it. So the winner
Oh,
of
look.
this game is going to get through to the round of 8. So pretty big stakes here. However, nobody is out if they lose this match here. They will go into the losers. So a lot to gain, not a lot to lose. Same HP totals, by the way, so the tempo will be felt pretty symmetrically. And, you know, the value of spells perhaps going to be a little bit higher here because you can't take too many blows.
Yeah, for sure. This when you take a low HP spec, you just have to like respect every single spell in the game and play around everything. Like you have no room to mess around because one bad turn could put you on death's door, and you don't want to be in that position ever.
100%. I'm expecting Shark Hunter here to get the first round because I would say one crawler is better than one marksman. Would you agree?
Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. 'Cause it's the second wave and it's a split crawler as well, so
Oh
it
yeah.
should be good.
Yeah, a little bit better of a split here of the crawlers through the sledges, but probably won't matter too much here. Probably small player damage coming through. Maybe something to watch out for here is the marksman experience and the sledge experience. Marksmen really don't need a lot of experience to level now, 650. Sledges needing
Cats
a
will
whole.
actually win because it looks like they locked, like the marksman locked the sledges more or less at the same time for both sides. So 3 marksmen
That
better than 2
is,
marksmen. I think it's that simple.
that's crazy. It's kind of crushing too. Well, somewhat. Snap pick fangs.
I mean, it's 2 deploys and it's a good unit in standard. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's probably not the only viable pick, but it's probably the best one.
I think it's the only viable pick because you wasp lose to 2 fags technically, and then fire badger. I
You
mean,
know that
this
that technically
marksman.
part is important. Okay, the wasp could win, could
But
be
like,
really annoying.
yeah, that's like yeah, but it's not like it's like a level 2 wasp versus like 2 fangs, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
And
I mean, you
you already have
remember.
marksman on the board.
Yeah, no, you're right. But like, you remember that Flower Fairy game in MAG1 Season 1 against you? He had like an amp core on it, and like that
Okay,
was
yeah, that's
insane.
because I did really dumb things with jump drive. That's the only reason. Okay.
Oh, Cass disagrees with you. We're turning on the spice. This is
No, this
definitely a
actually
Cass
I
move.
like this because it pulls. You know, he's taking the fangs. He's putting it behind a tower. Like you know that's happening, right? That's just what you do.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how standard works. So a late pull could be interesting. It's gonna pull the fang and of course the crawler and the marksman, I believe.
But this is such a cast move, right? He really likes these deep flanks and trying to put tower
Yes,
pressure on, and he does it specifically with sledgehammers. So will we see the spice turn up here, or will we see it be more of a slow, drawn-out game where he plans to sell that badger? Well, the crawler being committed as well seems
he's
to lean
committed.
towards, yeah. So I don't think this game is going to be very standard for much longer.
Yeah, I
Now,
think Pax
maybe.
also doesn't like to call this game standard either. He'll say passive versus passive, but like he's not playing passive now. He'll be trying to do some like tower pressure, I guess, from downtown.
Yeah, it's like SimCity versus standard. I'm like, what? What's the difference?
Tomato, tomato. You put your fangs behind the tower, but like I get what he's saying because now he's not playing this like super range game. He's trying to close the gap and get an early tower debuff, similar to what you do in aggro, but you're manipulating the, I guess, the aggro positioning by being so far back and getting a nastier pull.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. So will we see sledges come out for cast and a little bit of a commit there, or will we see the worms come out?
I think we're leaning towards worm. A worm is, I feel like, what he's doing more often now, especially with the pulls. He really likes it with the pulls.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say like better tower pressure with the sledge line, but it's possible people have figured out his sledge push. Like I feel like his flavor of the month for a little bit, and less so he started using the worms when I was tuning into his streams. But we
Yeah, I
won't get a
think.
free unit drop, so
Well, there's the Farseer spec.
yeah.
Improved Melter is interesting. If you
Yeah.
expect a worm play but for red, it would be a good pickup here, I think.
I mean, it's a very powerful card. Like, not many cards give you 20 range.
Even
It's a
the
huge
attack is
amount.
interesting against a
Yeah,
worm because the worm keeps going up and down. But if you can close, like you can quickly kill the worm before it burrows, then I
that's
think it's
actually
a
a
selling
really good
point.
point. Yeah, really good point. Oh, sledges.
Oh, okay. He's
Really
got the
early
carry
oil.
text, I believe, right? He's got EMP range, mech range, all that.
Wow, yeah. EMP really. the tell here that he is capable of putting on the carry sledges here. So just to explain this concept to the viewers who aren't familiar with it, so this deep flank, when you put your units all the way in the back of the flank here, this will pull quite a lot of the units because it's standard and there's a great distance between the two armies. This leaves a big opening on the tower here, and sledges of course only attack the ground, so they will have a lot of pressure against the tower here, and it doesn't take many shots, especially once you take mechanical rage, which increases the movement speed of sledges, and start clicking temporary speed. Huge tower pressure, and you just collapse on them. But the oil already a pretty good nod to that.
Interesting. So he's respecting this pull by doing an oil to stop the push, but also having his own little flank pull. Of course, it's just a crawler, so it's not going to stall as long, but I think that's one way to counteract this pull because it is quite annoying to deal with early on. So just like mirroring the pull allows it to be like an even playing field where there's less pressure on your tower because you're doing the same to them.
Yeah, that's really cool. I personally haven't thought about that nor seen it, but it does make a lot of sense. You really have to know your arrow, like where the units are going, right? Like
Yeah,
extremely
and Cass
fundamental.
definitely is someone who knows that stuff, like more than anyone else. I think he's a nerd with this arrow stuff. He like, oh, if I push it
Yep.
right at this tower position, if I put a one tick up, then it's the bigger pull, or something like that. You'll know all that.
100%, yeah. But it looks like Shark Hunter knows the stuff too. Very, I mean, he defended it just fine, in two different ways. Quite nice, but it looks like the Farseer coming out just a bit too much tempo. Does die at the end, reducing some damage.
And I think the sledge pull is what's interesting is sledge is the best like flank staller because it's five
Yes.
bodies compared to the badger. So even in
Yep.
aggro, just putting this on flank, this crawler sledge pull, not to really accomplish much other than stall, I think is a very good play here.
Very strong play, yeah. If you can't sentry missile it, which you can't because you put a chaff there, there's just no quick way, right? I mean,
You can sentry missile this sledge pack, but the badger you cannot, I think.
you're right. But what I meant is he could have placed it differently to prevent it.
Yeah,
But you're
yes,
right,
yes, yeah.
yeah. He did leave
He's
a
doing this
little
though
bit.
because of I asked him like why don't you just protect your sledge because you can get missiled, but his
Mhm.
thinking was it pulls more with this crawler, I believe.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Like it'll pull in front of the tower. Like if there's an arc light right in front of the tower, sometimes the arc light abandons the tower and goes to flank, I think.
Oh, that's interesting. So we got a Vulcan here. That is really good against sledges, like as long as the levels aren't too high. We have range on sledges before Mech Rage. I like that in the sense of he's stuck in oil, so the range helps a lot there. But I don't like it from the perspective of doesn't increase his DPS or chaff clearing, and he doesn't get the movement speed that he could use really well on the right side of the board here.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Mech Rage is yeah. I don't know what's the better play. I'm not too much of a sledge gamer myself. I don't really believe in this sledge gaming, but
Yeah,
I do like this play for red with the oil because the Vulcan counters the sledge, but also you get to burn all the chaff and you get to kill the sledges basically for free with the oil. So it's a
yeah,
nice
and the
move.
the oil's about to go away as well, right? So makes sense to utilize it for its utmost. We have a bigger sledge commit, like we're buying more of them, and we have another crawler, sort of like we talked about. And look how good that is.
Yeah,
Everything is going there.
it shuts down so much, or like it just like eases the pressure.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by Shark Hunter here. He knows his stuff, but it's still a close game. I mean, the health totals are not big either. I don't know at the moment who's ahead.
Cass is slightly ahead, but I think long term Vulcan beats Sledge, so we'll see
Yeah,
how like he approaches that matchup and shutting it down.
for sure. I mean, his money is not doing great. He just paid for oil, and now the oil's gone, so he's down 150. Of course, Farseer, SBC, lots of money. But we do have supply for him, and he took advanced shield, by the way, so he has extra strong shields, 40% more. I guess they could defend his tower, right? Sledges are not very good shield clear.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it just enables your Vulcan to get going since you're gonna need the levels here.
That's true. That's another ace up his sleeve here. Going to be very helpful. Spells show up as well.
Wait, I just noticed there's no Scorch on Vulcan. I don't know what he's doing. What's
Ooh,
how do you kill the sledges then?
that is really weird. I feel like that's like one of the most broken techs in the game. Like, but in any case, we have unit drops, and as far as both players' plans, Raiden feels good for cast, I think, and maybe it feels good for Shark as well because it kills 3 sledges per shot.
It just doesn't work.
All right.
Like you
Well,
just
my
click armor. I don't know.
so my opinion is that he thought this was Scorch, and randomly doesn't have Scorch in the bar. I don't know, guys. I don't
There's
know. But
no. That's a
anyways,
little bit of a stretch. That sounds like you're. How do you? That's two mistakes. That's crazy. I
yeah,
don't know.
that is my opinion. I'm not changing it. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of sledges on the board here. There's not a strong answer. Raiden's making things even scarier, so I'm putting my money on Cast here.
Yeah, this is gonna be. I don't think there's any hope of a comeback because I think it's just too far behind. He doesn't have a sled dancer. Raiden's obviously a very strong unit to counter. So
Yep. Zap, zap. A lot of HP damage. Potential here. Will he keep the Raiden? Oh, just barely. Is
I
that
just love the
game?
tower snipes.
Yeah, I know. Oh, not quite. This would be like the greatest comeback ever if he can do it.
That's basically Scorch. This is Scorch. Improve
Yeah,
firepower.
just 70% of a Scorch on just one unit, but you know, that's okay.
Like he teched range too. Like does he think he's just gonna melt these sledges? Like you just click
Hmm.
armor.
Fang Shield
I'm
is good.
lost. Yeah, very good play.
Mech Rage would be a really strong power spike here for Cast. I would like to see him click it. He'll utilize the movement speed and the chaff clear a lot here.
I
I mean,
think
I wouldn't
armor
take
can also be
armor.
picked up too. No,
It
just to like
can, but
shut
is it
down the
optimal?
Vulcan entirely.
I guess you could
Yeah.
double tech. What do you think about that? Too crazy?
Uh, I don't hate it. I mean, like he doesn't like he just can't kill any sludge at the moment. So why not like
Yeah.
double down?
Yeah. And he sold the other Saber, so he's committing to his sell plan. No new Vulcans, though? Unless that one is new back there, but I don't think it is.
No, it's the same Vulcan.
So he just
Like
bought more
you
Fangs.
don't need you really if you had Scorch, you just have two Vulcans, kill everything. That's like the theory. But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know what's going on here.
Yep. More sledges for Cast. Makes sense, I guess. He has enough anti-air. He doesn't have to worry about, like, too many sledges, I guess. So he's just all in, and looks pretty deadly. He's loaning, range and speeding. It looks like Shark Hunter not loaning, but is temp ranging and temp speeding.
Yeah, I think he's playing a little too greedy here, considering the position he's in.
Yeah, maybe he just thinks he's so far behind. That's the only possible way he wins, but yeah, a bit of a rough position here. Look how many sledges he has.
A sledge line. This looks like 10 sledges, 9 sledges.
Yeah. Even the Shield Fang's not going to be enough here.
Yeah, the mech rage was a good call. I don't know why I said armor. Mech rage, it just increased DPS, increased tower pressure, increased chaff clear.
Yeah,
It's shredded.
yeah. I mean, it is the best tech for sledges in a vacuum, and I think it's no exception here.
Pretty clean game from Cast.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, he's very practiced in that style, as you can see. I
For
thought Shark
sure.
Hunter did some great moves there. Maybe if he just did the right Vulcan tech
Yeah, I'm
and bought
still very
more.
confused. Next time I see him, I'm gonna ask him like, "What are you doing? What's this ignite Vulcan?" I don't know. I don't. There's no answer to it. It doesn't do anything. It takes even if
Yeah,
it were to kill sledges, it takes way too long. It was like 17 seconds. I forget the math, but it's like it takes a long time for ignite to kill one target just with ignite damage alone.
yeah, 100%. So that means Cast will be moving on into the round of 8, so that'll be exciting. Gives himself a good chance to win the entire thing. Shark Hunter, not out of it though. He has to win his next 2 matches, or no, yeah, he'll be in the finals, I guess, of today. So we'll see if he can get his return here. Will we be getting a Cast interview? I'd love to hear Cast's viewpoint on the sledge decks, but
Yeah, for sure. This is like what he was known for doing, like last patch, like the sledge pulls and the sledge line, basically. I
yeah,
think maybe he played a part, perhaps in the sledge copium. I didn't really huff the sledge copium, but the developers had to nerf the sledge experience, I believe, a patch or two ago with like what 20% something like that
Yeah,
because
I
of the
was
strategy.
surprised. Like, I would have liked to have seen it resolve, instead of just immediately doing such a big nerf to a unit that was sort of weak for a long period of time. And there's more predators every day for sledges. Like, we have Raiden now, Scorpion's been prevalent. Hackers, I would say, are also seeing a little bit more play recently, although Raiden's might turn that back off.
Yeah, I was loving the hackers. It was so fun. Like boats were nerfed. Like I was just like hacking spiders, hacking sledges. It was a fun time, but maybe
Yep.
not anymore. No more fun. Back to Raiden.
No more fun. Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting to see lots of patches, probably weekly patches as things normalize here. I'm sure they're looking at the data heavily. We already did see the 20% nerf on the Raidens, which is good to see. We don't want to have
Mhm.
like weeks and weeks without patches at a stage like this.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it is looking like Raidens are doing quite well for themselves. They just they sort of can handle their own problems. Like if there's a lot of chaff, like we talked about wasps earlier, you just click a couple of techs, you're chilling. They have EMP, so any strategy that relies upon techs to kill them can get shut off.
Yeah, like multi-melter should be a super strong Raiden counter, but like EMP is a thing, so like you can't do that. You just can't do a lot of things because of the EMP tech, I think.
Yep. Yeah, so yeah, basically we have a new boat. Raiden is like the new boat, and we still have boat, so that's great.
It's a
So many
big
air
boat.
patches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what they're thinking because like they know air is tough to balance, and they know air has like been oppressive in certain metas like Typhoon Boat, Sledge Boat. Of course now the I guess Wraith at a certain point in time, but now they're like, here's another air unit that's like really strong, and also the air unit we released before, yeah, that's basically dead. I don't know, that's what it feels like, right? Because like the Raiden is like the counter to the Ray now. Like if you had to choose one optimal line, it's the Raiden
Yeah.
for the Ray. So the Phantom Ray.
It's such a funny design concept. Like, all right, we release a new unit, and then the unit thereafter completely counters the one before it. It's like,
It's like I know you've been struggling to counter the Ray. Apparently, like mass Ray strats were like strong at lower MMR. So like, you know what?
mm,
We'll just give you a unit. How about that? Sure,
yeah,
why
for
not?
real. Yeah, it is pretty funny that we have a 5x5 unit now and a 500 cost. I feel like the rules are getting insane now. Like, okay, giant steel 350
But this one
instead of
does
400.
400. The
Yeah,
500 is the 400, but the 400 ones do the 350. But you know, it's fine. And then the factory, for some reason, is like it's 800, but does 500. Like you just gotta know these things, these
and it's
random
seven by
numbers.
seven instead of 8x8. Like,
Yeah,
it's actually getting so nuanced. It's like pretty comical, but
it
I
used
mean,
to be 8 by 8, right? I think
yes, it
back
did.
in the day one.
Yeah, and then I don't know why they made it smaller. But yeah,
Because
I
people
mean,
don't have
obviously.
space on their board. That's
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe that's because who leaves big holes for some reason? I don't know.
yeah. No, it's a good theory. Makes sense. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. So we're jumping into our losers match here.
It's the best of three, right?
This is a best of three. Their life is on the line here. They absolutely must win to move on.
Airspec
Shark Hunter.
sledge. Sorry.
Yeah. No, 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 no. That is worth shouting out here.
Sorry, I
Although,
see, look at this. You never picked this pack last pack. Like this pack is garbage. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
last patch. Like sledges, air spec, trash. But good
Nah,
unit.
that's a good shout. I think supply was looking good too, but Ariel's probably a bit better here. And look at that. Quick
Interesting.
supply Mustangs.
I hate it, but like I get why he's doing it because like Mustangs can get there, and like you might not want to Raiden into
Yeah.
a Mustang board, right? Perhaps like you can't kill crawlers. That's fine. Sure, we'll buy Arclights, but like I don't
Yeah.
entirely hate it in this meta.
Yeah. I
Maybe.
feel like Mustangs with quick supply makes some sense because like Mustangs are terrible tempo, so at least you have tempo in your SBC.
Yes.
Also, speaking of like predators, now we have missile SPC, so like it's another reason to be scared to pick Mustang SPC.
Yes, for sure.
So yeah,
Another like it didn't need another reason. Like there was plenty of
exactly.
reasons.
I
But I
don't know,
like the
man.
triple Arclight buy from Math here because you need to clear crawlers and Arclight's a good unit, so why
Yeah,
not use your quick supply monies to get that solved?
I love it. Even back in the day, I was saying like you should still get arc lights with your Mustangs. Like Mustangs were stronger back then, so maybe it was more of a bad call for me. But like I feel like they synergize well together. Like if the arc light like randomly doesn't hit one spare crawler, like the Mustangs finish it off. Like
And you don't really need range. Like if you're doing Arclight Mustang push, you don't really need range and Arclights. Like it's good for sure, but like you can just do or range Mustang and Arclights like your 3 starting Arclights. That's usually enough to like get your Mustangs going in a lot of situations. Besides
yep,
like spells, but that's fine.
we got a push here coming out from Guzzle. Guzzle has been pushing today, and he has a lot of Mustang killers, so decent odds for him here.
Yeah, I like the Arclight buy from Guzzle as well. Like Arclight again, good unit, clears crawlers, and it pairs well with your Raiden, so can't go wrong.
Yeah. So a lot of this is coming down to experience in these early rounds, of course. Player damage, not entirely significant yet. Really comes down to these next cards and these experience here. Mustangs, the difference between blue and white Mustangs is crazy, especially when you're up against Arclights because they survive shots. Quick
Yeah,
supply
for
not
sure.
paying off here. Not
Yeah,
yet,
it's
at
just
least.
it's the power of the ASIM push, right? You just have more resources one side, you're pressuring tower and all that, so it makes
Yep.
sense.
Not. Oh, I guess we got Rhino Assault. That could be pretty good
See,
here.
spell take spell. That's just what you do, I think.
Yes, indeed. So we got Cast on the call now. We're just getting him for a bit of a mid-game interview here. What's up, Cast? You there, Cast? All right, he's just sorting out his microphone. But yeah, I'd love to hear his thoughts on that spicy game there. So the Rhino Assault is being used here. Really good pressure against the defending player here.
Yeah, I like this Rhino Assault. I usually like to take like as many spells as possible. Like especially like these type of drops, it's very hard to defend efficiently as the aggro player, and it just pressures the aggro player as well to like waste resources, not defending or not pushing tower.
Yep. Do you see what Math picked, by the way? Improved melting point.
That's
Is that spicy
interesting.
or is that spicy?
I think it's like it's good, but also like again, EMP rated is like the thing that shuts down this type of melter stuff. So
Yeah, but maybe
we'll see.
improved. Maybe improved is like helpful in that aspect. Like you get 20 range that can't be EMP'd. I mean, I don't know.
If chain
Yeah.
wasn't a thing, that I could see that. But like chain just EMPs like your boat from off rip. Like I've seen scenarios where my Raiden's getting EMP like within like 3 seconds. Like it's some crazy
Yeah.
stuff that happens. I don't know how to even explain it either.
Yeah, 100%. Well, the Rhino is just gonna get in. So really good tempo
Oh,
here.
that's defensive.
Yeah. Oh, that's offensive. Oh, my bad, guys. Thank you, Sako.
I,
I
th-
was
I thought
really
it was
like,
I thought it was offensive. I thought it was red or Mathismight's
I was really
Rhino.
hopeful for him because that's exactly what he needs, right? Like he needs to get these Mustangs going. So, but yeah, he took the improved melter, as I said. Sorry, guys. But you know, he might still get a level here. He's maybe not.
The Mustangs are just like medium chaff in this stage of the game, I think.
Yeah. All right,
Hello.
Cass. You there? Yes, we can hear you. Welcome, welcome. So, congrats on your win. You had a very dominating series of games today. The last game, we were like immediately. What we want to ask you is how shocked we were by the Ignite tech on the Vulcans. What was your thoughts on that?
I think it must have been a misclick, right? I don't know. It was a bit strange. Or maybe there's something I missed.
Well, he didn't even have Scorch on the bar, right? So we were kind of laughing, like it's not just a misclick. It's like, what? You don't
Yeah.
run Scorch.
Maybe they have it on their other account, and they have Scorch in that spot. It has happened to me. So you think you're
Ah,
clicking Scorch, but decks are different. So
see, Sako? I had the same theory, but Sako was giving me a hard time.
Yeah, but why would you like? I don't know. Like, I don't think there's ever any meta where you're like, you know what? I don't want Scorch on my Vulcan. I don't know. Is War like? Are we playing War Factories? Is this what's going on here? Or I guess we kill worms with Ignite Vulcans. Maybe that's like what people
Yes,
do.
I think a lot of people have trauma against me playing worms. Against playing worms. Me playing worms, yeah. Or
Yeah,
War
yeah,
Factory too. I've done that.
yeah. Makes sense. But of course, he didn't see any of those units, so it was either preemptive or he just misclicked.
Yeah,
uh,
I think I got lucky.
yeah. So did you have preparation going into this series of games today, Cast? Like, did you know ahead of time I'm gonna do this deep flank and you know?
Uh, Not really. Like I didn't know it. I was considering doing it in the first game, but it didn't seem like the strongest option. But you know, I've been practicing that for that's a lot, so it was
Yeah,
definitely in my playbook.
yeah, yeah. I knew you had a lot of potential to use some of your specialized strategies there. I was waiting for it, and yeah, you made it look really good. Still, definitely very strong. Um, Raiden's perhaps could be useful against your sledges, but he actually did not go for it, which was surprising. He went for the sabers and sold all three. I imagine you were quite happy to see that.
Yeah, I still don't know how the Raiden plays out in this scenario. I didn't really face it yet, so I was a bit worried about it, but didn't come in play, so I was pretty happy about that. And I think the Vulcan, I mean, not with Ignite, but Vulcan in general is the strongest counter, so
Hmm.
was a bit scared, but it worked out.
Yeah, for sure. Sako, any questions for Cast?
Yeah, what do you think of the when you deployed the Raiden? This was in the first game, and you saw the ionization Raiden. What did you think about that? Because you never see that before, right? Like this is new stuff. People don't. Well, Raiden's a new unit, of course, but also the ion tech is something that people don't play as much. So what did you think about that? Because it looked interesting for a little bit, I guess,
Yeah,
in the first 2 rounds.
yeah, I was very surprised about it, and it did look interesting indeed. And that I think it can work like it's gonna just soften the worms up. Like the Raiden doesn't have any DPS itself after the first 1 or 2 shots, right? So the other unit's gonna have to do the job. So that's why I didn't commit too much into the worm source. Like didn't upgrade it to the high level, and I'm not sure if that was the right play, but I think it has potential. Maybe against War Factor too.
Again, I think it's like one of those problems where, because you have this like random Raiden in the back with like no range and Ion alone, so then you need to tech range to keep it alive. But like, so you have to always overcommit to the worm counter with the Raiden unit, right? It's very hard to like counter Raiden efficiently because like I
Yeah.
feel like you're ahead. Like you made him overcommit to the worm, I would say, because you double tech Raidens, and then you just go into like marksman carry, and then you had intensive training, so it kind of was like natural progression.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm happy I kept my cool and didn't want to try the new unit so much. Like I stuck to what I know works. And maybe this is good, but there has to be more experimentation.
I was also really shocked that he did not take quick cooldown with missile SPC. I thought it was great that you took it and you leveraged it really, really well.
Yeah, thanks. I'm not sure how useful the oil was in the end, but you know, I took a quick cooldown, used the oil as well, intensive. I got some marksman levels.
Yeah,
Also, it was nice that I got some useful spells.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think you used the spells really well. I think you had an orbital javelin as well, so like you were really set up for success there. The blue worm immediately off the intensive was really good tempo. You even were feeling confident enough to put it on the same side as the blue saber instead of the white saber. So yeah, really nice read of the situation there, knowing your tempo, knowing the value plays, and yeah, congrats again on getting through.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. So where are we at with this game here?
Arclights and Raidens versus not Arclights and Raidens.
Some Super Smash Bros. Energies there. Mewtwo versus. Yeah, so improved melting
It's
points are out.
looking. They're out. They have range, so that they have the range to kill. I guess maybe that's the interesting thing. You don't go into frack. You just have the range from downtown. and you have some HP to tank the Raiden, perhaps that's the
Yeah.
angle here. But
Yeah, I think a lot of this will come down to clearing like the sledges and the crawlers, because these melters will just kill the Raidens in 2 seconds, right? And all of these fangs out in front are looking really good for stall against the Raidens and the Arclights, with the Fang shield eventually being clicked. So I'm feeling a little optimistic for Math here. I think he has a better chance than his previous games. What do you think?
I think what's interesting here is maybe so I don't know what Math's plan is, but maybe it's smart to bait him into diffraction. You buy more sledges and you level them or something like that, and then you hit him with the EMP tech. Maybe that's like a possible line, but
Yeah, I like
yeah, I
that.
like the Fang Shield approach is definitely like should be like mandatory into the Arclight Raiden. That's why you play it in the mirror as well, right? Because you just have
Yeah.
more chaff, and it's good into Raiden, good into Arclights. Can't go wrong there.
100%. His clear is actually looking not very good yet. Maybe he just needs a turn of like 3 Arclights, 3 blue Arclights or something.
It's also a bit of like ASIM push. Like there's more resources coming down on one side, and he has a little bit of his resources on one side of the board. So
Yeah.
I guess he has that advantage. That's like the aggro advantage you have, right? Because you just have like this constant stream of crawlers that the defender doesn't really have.
Yep. Well, will any of this help out Math here? Does go for the chaff clear. He's identified that. He even could put it in the flank, but I don't think he's in a position to do so.
He can go for the oil. Oh, I hate this. He's teching Badgers. Like, yeah, he needs chaff clear. Badgers don't even clear chaff that well, unless level 2 does. But
Yeah, well,
the Raiden kills these units pretty efficiently. It's like designed to kill 3-pack units.
yeah, that's a really good shout there. They are blue, so they do survive a shot, but yeah, I'm a little bit worried about their longevity here. But you know, he's so desperate for chaff clear, and it is a really heavy dose of crawlers. So I do like this. I think it was the correct take.
I like
I'm not
the oil for sure. The oil makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, this entire game will just be about clearing chaff, but now there's also medium-sized chaff here for Guzzle, right? You got to get through these 6 badgers, the 10 sledges. Oh, he's buying more badgers as well. So
Yeah, I like
not
the
sure.
Badger play. It's a bit similar to like just having more sledges. It's good into the melter. Like, of course, sledges are better into melter because there's more bodies, but
Yep.
you're utilizing the unit drops and you're teching them. I think that's good.
Yep, for sure. Ooh, oil on top of the bubble here.
Will that oil land? That's the question because the Raidens they're all shooting it.
Nah, they only deal 21,000 per. Yeah, it was close actually. You're right.
Of course, this is the classic take 2k damage for no reason, but you know it happens.
Yeah, probably not 2,000, but the melters will live, I imagine. Maybe that's it. Will he kill the Arclights?
And he outranges the Raidens at the moment.
Yeah. Well, 2 Arclights getting through as well as 3 melters. So 1,200 damage, roughly. Decent little comeback here, but oil has been expended.
From both sides, though, which is interesting.
Yeah, 100%. Nothing huge here. I guess Photon could make your melters safe. It's really good tank value for Guzzle, so I do like the snap pick there.
What's kind of interesting is you probably want to go EMP, perhaps, if you're Guzzle. So Photon is like maybe saves you a little bit this round. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's sort of like a safe pick here for Math. He's really desperate, so I like him taking every single like tempo desperate thing he can. Like oil previous round, Photon this round. Just keep hanging on by the skin of your teeth.
Yeah. Missile crawlers, get some key locks, do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, Fang shield question mark, unless he's worried that the
I guess the
Badgers.
Badgers, yeah.
Yeah, and he can't really bubble either. Like he already saw bubbles get wrecked by Raidens because they target through the bubbles, so you get your 3 lightning bolts, and each lightning bolt does around 7,000. So, you know, 2 Raiden shots and your bubble's gone. He does go for it anyways, because you just simply, you know, you're desperate here, you need the tempo. And we got a deep flank here for Guzzle, pulling a decent amount of chaff, as well as killing some decent chaff, so.
Should distract
nice
the
move.
left melter, I think.
Yeah, although the arrow doesn't say so, but I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like. I think it'll turn. I think the arrows are lying.
Yeah, yep, you're right. Good intuition there. Let's see if the Badger fire, like the napalm, does good here, because it is a crawler issue. But there also is all these bodies of Badgers and sledges.
Oh my god! Just everything just got deleted.
Oh, this unit, man.
Oh my god.
Oh, he didn't fortify the tower.
That's a Giga Melter though. It's got 125k. Maybe
Hey,
it can tank enough to close out.
There's no units for Guzzle left. So
Wow.
yeah, improved Melter is obviously going to be able to handle this end game here. Probably 700 damage coming through. The comeback continues.
Yeah, interesting. I think you just need to click EMP so you can close the gap because the range is definitely the problem here. I think, of course, HP as well, but
Yep.
oh.
Snap pick nuke. I like
that's
that.
that's a good card into this type of push here. Like you probably have to beacon. Like it would
I'm
have been
beaconing.
nice if he took in the redeploy last turn, but what can you
That's
do?
true. That's true. Yeah, I'm beaconing and selling. I don't know about you. As Guzzle here. And
Yeah,
for math, I'm doing like a layer of bubbles. I don't know.
it's hard to shield the nuke though. Like I think
Yeah.
I like Guzzle's player. You take a nuke and then you just like trade nukes and like go next. I think I don't know.
So the melters live, right? They live through the nuke, so I mean they might still die, but we have EMP as well for the Raidens. Yeah, it's hard to call this one.
Speed spec is interesting. I don't know how much you need that speed. I mean, speed, you can't go wrong with speed, but like all your
Yeah.
chaff dies faster. I guess it allows you to close the gap in the
Are you
Raiden
shield fanging
fight.
here? Nah, he's not doing it. He's missling the deep flank. He's a rhino down there. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. I mean, this feels good for Guzzle to me, I think. But maybe the melters are just like really starting to scale out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to call this one. Like the nuke obviously is very like favored for math, but and it does like
Yeah,
stop a lot of this ace input. Like his selling point of this push is the fact that he's stacking aside, but now he has to split his resources and push middle. So now he has this like separated push that's not as strong. But we'll see how it
yeah.
goes.
And no nuke for Guzzle, so bit of a confidence there. Maybe trying to win the economic game and tries to lose this round. We'll
That's
see.
very bold because like the nuke is disgusting here. So like trading nukes allows you to like not make it as brutal or like because now he's getting owned. The melters are gonna level. You're gonna need DPS. Like yes, you have EMP to turn off the range, but do you have the DPS to kill like level 3, level 2 melters?
Yeah, this might be a crazy comeback. I mean, he's in the lead. He's ahead on HP now. He's got the Giga Melter and it keeps leveling. Got unit drops, marksman, potentially good here for Mathismight. The worm makes sense, right? Melters can't lock on necessarily. And Bombard is back for both players, but it does look significantly better for Guzzle here because it can kill the Fangs.
Yeah, for sure. I like the word pickup here. Is he
Yep.
selling or is he actually keeping it? He's keeping it. Okay.
Yeah, keeping it makes sense. What is Math going to pick here? I would pick the Marksmans.
You kind of
Or
already
do
have
they get
melters, so like maybe just
Yeah.
sell, or like honestly, you could just take your own worm and
What about
like have a tank.
Yeah. What about Tarantulas and you flank with both of them?
That
Deep
could
flank
be a
both of
play.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it kills crawlers. Absolute worst case scenario. Best case scenario, you get towers. But he does go for the worm, and it's just beacon to the tower. I feel like that takes tower in about a year's length of time.
I think it's a straight. I don't know how this crawler works, but if he can somehow just like run straight to tower, that could be pretty strong. But I do like this play from Guzzle here, going for the replicate worm blender, basically. Just sending it all in because there's no real efficient way. Oh my god, he's clicking the strikes back
Sudden.
too. You don't
Yeah.
do this often. I don't know about this tech. I don't even run the tech, but
Oh, I
he's
actually
gonna
like
get
the
in
tech.
there.
I don't know if it's good here, though. I mean, with no Fang shield, I mean, maybe it kills like a million Fangs with
It's
its
gonna
big splash.
splash the tower. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Oh, the orbital bombardment. Oh my god.
Yeah. It means anyone's games comes down to the melters locking on. And the tower, was it fortified? It was not fortified.
The
Oh
rated, it
my
was fortified. The
god.
rated just does things.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's
Raiden's
level
OP.
2.
But will the worm get in to save the
Disgusting.
day?
The worm's going, but like there's like 75 replicated worms on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe if he had multi-melt, there was a chance. But there's EMP, so that
That's the problem with the melter, right? Like it's dicey.
well, almost a miraculous comeback here, but
Yeah, there was some hope in the non-Raiden player, but you know the Raiden prevailed.
yeah. I mean, he
The
was
worm
up
drop.
money. Yeah, the worm drop. I mean, worm drop is just one of the best drops, right?
Especially into this board, it's like, yeah, you have melters that kill the worm, but like there's this like secret replicate tech, but also like tower snipe, like like orbital with the tower, like he just got demolished on the front line. Like there's not much he could have even done. Like you can't shield it. The Raiden's gonna break a
No,
shield in 2 seconds, and then
no.
the Raiden's just splash tower because you're all bunched up because you're defending an asim push like normal, and then yeah, just you just get your tower. Like you should
Yep.
have leveled it to level 5 tower. Like I don't know. Like what do you do here? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, my hindsight play would be sell worm. I think the worm was never getting tower in a timely fashion, and I would have taken fang shields. Just even though there's the badgers there, I still would have done it. And level up the tower like to level 3 or 4, like probably 3. But I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
might not get
even
there.
all those things, even if he was probably gifted like another 1,000 supply, I don't know. It feels like it'd be hard problem to solve. Like
Yeah.
maybe you go for blue level 2. Like, is there a world where he affords blue factory with armor photon and that kills
Ooh.
infinite worms, tanks all the Raidens, the melters do everything? Like maybe that's a line. That's
Hey,
the
that's
only
a good
line
idea.
that works for me because it's like
Yep.
so broken, like the cheese.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good line there. I'd like to see that. I'm sure somebody could analyze the replay there. All right, so Guzzle now with a 1-0 lead in this best of 3. One more match and he secures himself to the last match of the day. Of course, Shark Hunter waiting for him there, who was looking pretty good until Cast kind of did some better picks and better gameplay towards the end there. But I mean, this series between the two looks pretty close, I think.
Yeah, this is an exciting like Raiden defense. Like the melters are looking good for a little bit here, but I guess in the end EMP is too strong.
He committed so early too. He took improved Melter, I
He
believe,
read the he
round
just
2.
blind melted, I think. Also, I think he blind melted to turn the Raiden game down. I think that
Yeah,
was
but
the turn.
like his whole line made sense because he was against aerial SPC, right?
Yes. It
Yeah.
shuts down like every air option more or less. I
Yeah, and
guess.
then like the only good air options for carries these days is pretty much the Giants, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Overlord
Yeah,
and
both.
yeah, so I mean it made sense. Plus like improved Melter is just a good card, I would say. Yeah, and
If
I
you're
think the
into
choice.
boat, it owns the boat too. Like multi melter specific, of course, improvedness definitely helps, but definitely shuts down the boat. I think entirely, probably.
Yeah. Yep, but the tempo was a little too much to handle there. I mean, Raiden can be good against anything in a way, right? And there's just so many threats, like losing your tower, getting EMP'd.
And
So
it's so strong on aggro just because it threatens the tower. Like you can also do weird things like if you put the Raiden in the corner and you do like the deep flank and the shallow flank at the same time. So like the tower is basically wide open, and with the chain effect, like it's always looking for other targets. So
yeah,
it'll splash towers sooner than later. So I don't know. It's a tough one, I think.
yeah, 100%. Okay, I don't know how much I've read Guzzle's profile today, so let me just quickly go over that. So yeah, name Guzzle. I don't know how to read his Chinese characters. He's from China, and he is the leader of B-Man haters. Maybe I did mention that earlier. He enjoys a flexible and varied style. That's what we
I
have written
think
on Guzzle.
I've seen games where he played B-Man, and every time he beats him, he like says some message like, "Oh, you should have did this or this." Like he gives him some BM.
Yeah, yeah, they're definitely
It's
all
funny.
super tight there. I'm sure
Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
lot of good times being had in the B-Man stream chat.
yeah.
I enjoy
But
watching his stream personally.
yeah, I don't know what he's saying, but like it sounds funny. Like he just having a good time.
Yeah, and like you can like translate your browser, just have it automatically be translating and listen to the chat. It's pretty fun.
For sure. I love the translations too. Like it just sounds so funny, like the translations of units and stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah, I can't believe marksmans are literally called longbows. Like, I was like, sometimes I'm bored and I do some translation stuff, and like I'm like double checking. I'm like, maybe that's just how they say sniper or something like that. But like, no, I think they literally just want to call them longbows, which is cool. I mean,
For sure, for sure.
marksman is a more like it can mean anything in English, right? Like it can mean you're good with the bow, can mean you're good with a gun. I think so. Yeah. Anyways. Guzzle, let's see
Very
if you can
important
win.
lore.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
he just needs one more match to close it on to advance to the last match of the day to advance to the top 8.
Yes. And he has training specialists. Might be his ticket home.
Yeah, it feels like the obvious pick
Repeat?
for
Can we have a
Guzzle.
repeat? Missile against training again, and then quick cooldown comes down? We need more data so we can say that you definitely should take quick cooldown.
Quick supply probably looking good though for Mathismight.
Yeah,
He
it's so
picks it
hard to
up.
go wrong. I don't know about you, but I think quick specialist is one of the best. It's not
Yeah,
as good as Typhoon, obviously. Like,
or
come on.
Farseer. I think for like just the econ specs are so like those specifically Farseer and
Yeah,
um,
yeah. They give a little
Typhoon is
too
so
much,
strong.
unlock plus 50 for the deploy, plus 300 for the unit, like
Yeah, and Typhoon's like actually a good unit too. Also,
yeah,
like can't go wrong
exactly.
with that.
But, aside from these clearly overpowered ones, I do like quick supply.
It's a some call it the Phoenix specialist. That's what I do with it.
Sounds like a
I'm a
GCU
Phoenix.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can't go wrong. But this is interesting. We're getting a standard deployment with Saber Arclight. I would always push for this. I feel like because
Yeah.
again, like storms are just gonna own the Saber, so your Sabers are basically useless.
He does have
But
anti-missile on them, but that's just not very popular right now, right? They did get buffed, but
it's like a tempo play. You can close out, but don't know how good of a strat it is. But he changed his mind. He's decided to
okay,
take
okay.
his advantage here. I know Guzzle's a little bit like last patch. He was saying like, "Oh, aggro feels so like hard to play. The Wasp jump drive stuff keeps owning me. The spells keep owning me." So maybe he's like fighting that, and he's like, "I don't know. We want to win this tournament here. I don't know about aggro stuff like that." But just buy the rated. Come on, you know you want it
Oh, there's the intense on the arc light. That's definitely a very solid play.
for sure.
He's a flexible player, but he's only played aggro here today, I believe.
He played cast in standard with the Ion.
Oh, okay.
Are you
Yeah,
talking
you're
about
right.
math?
Guzzle.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he did. He had one little standard
Okay.
game here. No
I guess
chaff is a bit crazy, but he does get the round win with the Phoenix.
yeah. Guess he had to unlock Phoenix SPC, right? Maybe just the storms surviving here, or a few of them.
There was a world that you leveled the crawler, right? Like I'd be fighting the urge to level the crawler over the Arclight.
Oh
It has
man,
some like
I
early
don't
game
know.
tempo.
Has all game feeding experience. That's how I see
That's
it.
yeah, that's probably the more reasonable, rational line. But there's an urge to level it to blue.
Yeah, pretty snappy picks here on the improved firepower. I think that makes sense. I personally just don't skip it anymore on round 2 because you always have the free unit drops coming up round 3 or round 4, and you can lose the game on the spot depending on what comes out, right?
Yeah, for sure. Interesting though that we're getting the Wasp flag. Like people still doing the jump drive like standard stuff. It seems like even with the cost increase, I don't
Yeah.
agree to be honest. But like it's still a good waiting for unit drops turn. I feel like because like you don't
Yeah.
really want to go Phoenix if you're going Raiden, and Wasp is like it creates this pressure and it forces your opponent to buy units that aren't as optimal and overcommit to defending it. But
Yeah, for sure. Well, the missile will take care of it. I don't know how I feel about the firepower on the Phoenix because, as I said, I like it for the free unit drop, and Phoenix is just not like it's fine. It does take less hits to kill things like arc lights, but I don't know.
unfortunately, the Phoenix is also like on the other side of the map, so
Yeah, good
just be a
point.
little bit bad there.
That does feel bad. Maybe you should start selling. In any case, that missile will give him the guaranteed win with the air victory there, and I expect some stuff might survive given the Wasp dying so quickly.
Yeah, it's a good read to do the missile. Like, it's such a common. He probably just has Wasp jump drive PTSD, so that's like an instinct move, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. The tempo difference there is pretty crazy. Win instead of losing, and shutdown experience. Maybe he just missiles it again next round.
Yeah, and that's like the weakness of the jump drive Wasp plays. Even when it costs 50, like if they read your plays, you just hard lose because your entire play with this jump drive Wasp thing is that you're cheesing tower, you're getting early snipe, whatever. But if it gets covered, like it doesn't do anything.
For sure. Here come the drops. What are you thinking?
I just put those things on the flank and just unlock the Raiden. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah?
Sell this Wasp play. I don't like this Wasp. Just get straight to Raiden business. No messing around.
Yeah, I like how varied these options are. The sledges and the fire badgers have overlap, but other than that, 3 distinct units here. And yet
Fort
they
could have
end
been
up.
a good pickup too, right?
Yeah, I completely agree.
Or
But they're both
Mathismight at
thinking the
least.
same thing. Very interesting.
I just like sledges over Badger. I don't know. It's like 5 bodies. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
clear chaff as well as a sledge, but like the flank is better on it with the sledge, I think.
Yeah, you really need to care about the crawler clear. Otherwise, yeah, sledges are just better. Intensive was used on the Wasp, which has the firepower, and he does pay 100 for the jump drive here. That is expensive, and he's investing deeper into this unit. That Wasp is his biggest investment on his entire board by a lot.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of this. Like just go raid it.
Yeah, where's the Raidens, guys?
This is the non-rated move. No, I don't like it. Okay, I like it. It's good for the variety, but we're getting the missile on the left side to defend the tower. But it looks like the Wasp should get in pretty fast on the right.
Yeah. Imagine a beacon how fast it would get in, but I think it'll get in fast regardless. Mirrored flanks here. Some Wasps going back to handle it. That may save the tower. Well, Phoenixes got some work cut out for them, but I think they are capable. Will the tank value be there?
Just one Wasp taking the tower, no problem.
Yeah, 5 Wasps against 2 Phoenixes here. Definitely a ground victory here. But yeah, the Wasps are just.
And can we get a -50 out of him too? Oh my god, one Wasp going. Economics. Oh my god, let's go.
Alright, Guzzle's cheating. Kappa.
That's a level 3 Wasp with an item. That's kind of scary. You gotta respect it now, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's got intensive as well. Definitely not carry techs, but you know.
This Rhino Wasp also a bit brutal.
Yeah, Rhino or heavy armor here. Both pretty powerful plays here. Oh my gosh. What is that? Is that anti-air wasps? Or just handle the flanks with wasps is maybe his mindset here. He puts it bottom right.
But like big Wasp beat little Wasp. But I guess if you do the math, the blue Wasp. I am so confused. This is crazy. Like it handles the flanks well. Like the Badger flank, and it covers the Wasp cheese, I guess. And he can tech. I guess just thinking is he can tech the Wasps as well if he really needs to cover. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
why
about this.
Yeah, it's a very unusual play, but I do understand some of the rationale. Like buying them blue is really expensive, and they, you know, multiplicatively are weaker due to how mass-produced works. So that definitely feels bad. But I think
Yeah,
the
but you know
tech
what feels
advantage.
better?
What?
I'm sorry. Sorry, I just saw the Raiden. I got distracted. Sorry, keep going. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Oh, the Raiden. Yeah, yeah. No, well, I mean, he's got the tech advantage with the Wasp, right? Like jump drive is not only costing 100, but he can't buy future techs. So once he hits anti-air, he just wins the air. But
the problem though is this. That's just a bad play. Like this is people who complain about jump drive Wasp do things like I don't know. Like this is an overcommitment to a jump drive Wasp. But he sells the Wasp. He just goes Raiden. But now you have all these useless Wasps. Blue even like it just it doesn't feel like an efficient way to deal with this jump drive. Like, it's a threat for sure, but
It's a threat. I think that's the big thing, right? It doesn't just handle the wasp. He's saying, well, your wasps were good, so let me get my own. Now you have to handle my wasps. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Raiden, we talked about it earlier. It can handle wasps. It does require techs and or more of them to get going.
yes, for sure. But now I
But-
think Guzzle's in the best spot in the world, I think, because like he's got so many Raiden targets.
Yeah.
Like every
I mean,
target's a Raiden target, but like these are Raiden targets, you know?
Yeah, I think Mathismight really wanted to win that round. It was sort of a big investment, unlocking a unit, elite deploying them, buying 3 of them.
Mhm.
Now he didn't tech them, but we'll see what he does with that. More unit drops. Wow, they're churning out.
Nice wasp play. It'd be a shame if there's one unit that
Yeah,
kills them all.
it's just like this Typhoon is good for like 50 reasons for Guzzle. Like, holy smokes.
This probably is the best job you can take here. The sledges also are interesting, but yeah, the
Yeah,
Typhoon
yeah.
definitely is probably one of the stronger drops in the game. Level 3 Typhoon.
Yeah, it's so powerful. They use levels extremely well. They use the tankiness, they use the attacks, they use the tech as well. The barrier does dip on the levels.
And it's
What
hard
is
to
Math gonna
Scorpion
pick?
this, right? Like
Yeah.
Scorpion is the ideal counter Typhoon, but like it's a level 3 Typhoon, so it takes a lot of shots.
Yep. And the Typhoon DPS is real. I mean, it can kill the Scorpion.
I don't even hate like selling this wasp and like putting the item on the Typhoon, and that thing will be a beast.
Oh, that's a great play. Yeah, I would do that. It's just so much DPS, right? I mean, that thing is worth 600 supplies, so. Well, oil comes down. That will light the ground on fire. He techs the wasp, so that is his answer for the wasp
That's
and for the Raiden.
that doesn't work.
He needs a
Spoiler.
tank, right? He needs a tank.
No, but
Like,
even if he has a tank, it doesn't matter. You put the rhino right in front of it, it goes, hits the rhino and hits all your wasps. It's with the chain tech at least, right?
with the chain tech, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. What
Yeah. It's rough. I mean, he'll probably click anti-air and buy more of them, but the Typhoon will
Yes.
just kill the wasps, right?
That too. Yeah. There's like so many ways this loses. Like he can just commit into Raiden Chain, or he can just commit into Typhoons with bubbles, and then these wasps are gonna be very sad. I think.
Yep. Oil is looking somewhat good, but I think these level 3 wasps will just take care of the blue ones.
Yeah.
the
Especially
tower.
with the debuff timing, right?
Yep. So the tempo loss continues, the scaling into the Raiden comp continues. And now with Typhoons as an option, he's very flexible. He has a strong tank line.
Yeah. This is like, what do you do now?
What do you do?
You're in such a, there's like no way out, and that's what it feels like to me. I hate to say that,
Yeah.
but that's what the situation looking like.
No, for sure. I mean, maybe he should have sold the storms by now. It's just a little bit of extra cash there. He has
They're
another
just going Typhoon
oil.
Raiden.
The oil did look good, but he needs significantly more anti-air. And I think he also needs anti-typhoon.
He needs anti everything. I think. Unfortunately, it's just with the unit drop turret and the Raidens. It feels
Yeah,
like
and he
it's gonna
doesn't
be
have a lot of
tough
time
solve.
to get there. 1800
For
hit
sure.
points. There are giants on the field, and typhoons are also like typhoons deal 300, right? That's only 50 less than giants. I mean, they're like sort
Yeah,
of giants.
they're pretty efficient HP damage.
Yeah, 100%.
They actually like cost do what their cost is,
Yeah.
right, compared to giants.
I really want to see your line here. Putting that item on the typhoon, so nice.
Yeah, for sure. It'll kill the tower too in like 3 seconds.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh.
There's the anti-air. I mean, it makes sense, but yeah.
No chain tech, but I guess there's enough typhoons to handle these wasps.
Yeah, I feel like you could tech in either direction, like spamming typhoons, taking a typhoon tech, or the Raiden. Worms.
Interesting.
I mean, it's a tank. So
I can see Worm Wasp in theory beating Typhoon Raiden, right? Because the
yes,
Raidens don't have the DPS, but there's also the Ion tech if you really need it.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it could be too little too late, but I think it was a step in the right direction. The Phoenixes are connecting on the Typhoons. That's a very important moment, but he does lose a Phoenix there.
He splashed the Phoenix.
I
That's
know.
so tilting.
Oh
I
gosh.
hate this.
The Wasp winning
Oh
on the
my
right. That's something. Left side losing though. Can the Wasp kill this? I think it can, right?
Yeah, it doesn't have chain yet, so it takes a little bit to kill these wasps.
And the timing's good. Okay, I mean,
Not bad. Like, I'm seeing glimpses of hope for Mathismight here to turn this around.
will not
But
kill another one, so another 700. Snap pick heavy.
heavy armor on the Typhoon also probably good, but yeah, this worm is big. Like, you're gonna need the Ion, or you're gonna need perhaps like a Melter.
Yeah. I feel like Math has done a really good job of having comebacks today. Like, he didn't win the comebacks, but he got really close. And this could
Yeah.
be another situation here. Like, the worm pivot makes a lot of sense, and now he's gotten himself to a position where it's a big threat. But
Yeah, like this is what you like. One of the ways to counter Raiden is to just put a bunch of stats in his fates, so it doesn't have like since it doesn't have like significant DPS for single target.
yep. But as you said, ionization does exist. That's percentage damage. And look at this play he's doing now. Level 3 Raiden with the item that was on the Wasp.
Oh my.
The tower will get literally one shot. Just saying. Or maybe not by the... Yeah, he doesn't have chain yet, so... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the
I
worm
like
is
his ideas
still...
though, for sure.
Yeah. No, Math is doing great. He has a real shot here, I think. Like, he has everything answered at this point. Those things that we were worried about, they doesn't have yet. He has gotten himself to the position where he has them. So really, it's going to come down to the chaff clear, the connections, not losing your tower. There is a lot of chaff for Guzzle here. That may be the
Still no
weakness here.
chain.
Still
I
no
guess he's
chain.
gonna rely on Typhoons for anti-wasp. But on the right side, he, like, it looks like he should just lose, right? Because the wasps should get things done, perhaps.
Yeah, the worm is now there. Wasn't there before, but it's dying really quickly. But yeah, without chain, I think you're right. I think he will win the right. The left side has much more tankiness. Oh, there's a way more Raidens there.
Oh, your tank goes underground and then you lose your wasp. That's a bit of an issue, perhaps.
Yeah, so it's the same story as last battle. Right side wins, left side loses for Math here. Looking a little better though. Big worm alive, Wasp coming in, and he gets a round win.
Yeah, looking not bad. Like, again, he just needs more Typhoons, or he needs the chain. I think maybe it's hard to go Typhoon because the worms can tank, and then the Typhoons just die fast. So maybe it's like chain Ion at once.
Oh, super heavy here. That is just what the doctor ordered. I mean, on another big worm here, but he doesn't go for it.
Interesting. Yeah, I would have definitely liked a super heavy.
But Wasp Swarm could get stuff done. We'll see. I mean, he is teched into them.
It's a mass-produced wasp swarm, though, so can it really win? But it has anti-tier, so maybe it
Yeah, I
can
mean,
beat the counter.
it's not bad for sure. Super heavy though could have been game changing, but yeah, we'll see. He might have his money all planned out. So Guzzle taking his time.
I really want to see chain and
Yeah,
perhaps Ion. I think I want to see everything.
you got a tech, right? I mean, you have 5 Raidens, and your total levels is 9. You have 9 levels worth of Raidens on the board. You got to take your second tech here.
Find more wasp though. EMP,
EMP gets rid of the armor.
but wasperinos in the sky arenos.
Okay, he double techs. That's what you
Chain.
wanted.
Okay, there we go. I wanted something. I wanted at least the chain, but yeah, this is good.
Yeah, it's good. The wasps are going to cancel each other out. I don't think Math's wasp will do much.
No, there's also the missiles and his own wasp. Even
Yeah.
the rhino to tank in case.
Yeah, so that stuff will all cancel each other out. So it's going to come down to the main battle. There is a lot of stuff on the left side there. I think that's going to be the biggest thing to look out for here.
Chain. This is disgusting. Close your eyes.
There's a lot of DPS going down. Oh, it's taking
There's
a long
one
time
wasp
though.
alive.
Oof. I mean, we have the Phoenix left. Just kidding. Just kidding. We have worms left. We have wasps on the right side. Maybe a tower timing?
There's a world where these hero wasps do everything.
There's a typhoon left though. That's also a problem. Oh
And the
no.
world was a lie.
Everything falling apart here. And is that enough damage to take him down? Oh, just
Damn,
barely. So that's gonna be it
rough.
for Mathismight. Mathismight unfortunately is eliminated. Guzzle going to be moving on to the final match of the day versus Shark Hunter.
You know, it
Pretty
was looking
spicy.
good for like just a glimpse, a little 1 round, 2 round, but yeah, the chain is
Yeah.
the nail in the coffin, I think.
Yeah, I think Math fought pretty well for himself here tonight. A lot of his games had really close comeback potential, and he was pretty flexible, did some pretty unorthodox plays. Unfortunately, just some really solid lines being a little too tough for him to handle here. Like this huge investment into Raidens is really not easy to handle.
Yeah, it's just he just gotta. The reality is, he just gotta suck it up, and he just gotta do the thing where you buy your own arc light and your own rain. I hate to say it, but that's actually the line. There's all their lines. I've tried all the lines. I thought about all the lines. These lines suck.
Yeah. Or Typhoon, if the game gives you lemons.
Yeah, why not? But
Yeah.
I really liked his attempts, though. Like I get his ideas. I like his thought processes. But unfortunately, like Raiden is equipped with all the techs to like do all the things you need to succeed.
Yeah. Yep. Well, no surprise. We saw a lot of Raidens today. I don't know if next week when we have Group B, if that'll still be the case. And I don't know if we'll have like a small patch by then, but I'm sure everybody will be paying attention to this group of games today. We'll study them, try and figure out this is a good snapshot of the meta, I'd say. Lots of top players battling it out with high stakes. And nice to see ionization being thrown on the bar as well. People definitely trying things out. Looks like EMP is a bit of a staple. I was unsure at first when I first saw the tech if it would be involved or not, but yeah, it does make sense. I don't think if Overlord had it, I don't think you would run it. But with a unit that chains attacks, I think it
Yeah.
makes sense.
And in the mirror also, like it is an essential tech. It's like you go chain EMP range, and then whoever locks the EMP first is like kind of just wins. It's so stupid. Like our Raiden mirrors are actually just so stupid. If you ever see them.
Yeah. You know what's
But
interesting, by the way, is Wasp EMP is now 100.
yeah, that is like it's on the wasp, but yeah, it's
Dude,
an
I would have clicked
ignite
it there.
too.
Yeah, yeah. I would have clicked
AMP.
it. It would cost 500, right? And
That's
his
yeah,
wasps were connecting onto them, and then they'd
that's
lose the
true.
chain.
Yeah. That's an interesting idea. Yeah, you hit him with the EMP ignite.
Oh
You hit
my
him with
god.
yeah, they're both on sale. Like how are you gonna say no to that?
Yeah.
Free
It's just
text.
the reason why we have never seen those techs be, prevalent is the fact that you need your wasps to stay alive because the duration of those effects is not very long.
Yeah, and wasps are one of the easiest counter like units it feels like to counter outside of like jump drive stuff.
Yeah. But I love that the devs are finally recognizing this and they just keep putting the price down because 100, that's a fair price.
Yeah,
200 made
yeah.
no sense. Like,
I don't know if anyone ever ran like I remember during the War Factory meta when it was getting just so disgusting. I put EMP and Ignite on for like a gut shot, but
yeah,
outside of that, I don't know. I don't think there's ever been like serious competitive play with those techs.
yeah, for
It could be
sure.
interesting, perhaps one time. It turns off Doom
One
Gen, it
time.
turns off Fort AA. Maybe you can play Wasp carry into Fort AA. Surely.
Yep. Well, having seen these two players play tonight, I think they're both extremely strong players and they both deserve to get through. So I'm curious to see who will take it.
I have these guys don't mess around. It's Arclight Raiden, Arclight Raiden. I'm telling you, it's
Yeah.
all 3 games is Arclight Raiden. If it's not Arclight Raiden, I'll be shocked. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
they
I'm calling the shots. This is happening.
they both know how to do it. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, it's harder to counter than it is to just do it yourself, right?
For
So
sure. For sure.
you
Like you can
just
tempo. You can do that. That's your only line. Like your reasonable
yep.
line is you tempo them out and then you blue factor on the line, then that works. But also that's like dicey, so good luck with that.
Yeah, I want to see the Blue War Factory thing you've been saying be a little bit more common as like a punish, because outside of ionization, there is no counter, right?
It punishes all boards though. It's like, oh, you got your fort board just getting online. Okay, well here's a million HP. Have fun. Or
Yeah.
like you have literally any board that's not melter. Literally any board that's not melter. Which melter's not that common in this meta. You just put it on the line and you run in the tower and you say I win. It's actually just so dumb. And it costs
Yeah,
100.
yeah, yeah.
It's 100 armor on a unit that's like has the highest HP per cost. I
Yes,
think right.
yes.
It's a,
It is the
like by a
highest,
large
yes,
margin too.
by a large margin. Yep. Yeah,
So I don't know.
I don't think it's healthy for the game that you can do that. I do like that it costs a lot. I mean, I don't have an issue with the cost of it. I just don't like the gut shot ability. Now, one thing you can say is that it means you shouldn't get low on HP. You should value tempo more, and maybe that's just part of Mechabellum is like HP is worth a lot, so that you
No,
can't
but it's
allow these
like
gut
if
punches.
you get under 2k HP, you lose game because stats. I don't know. That's just dumbest thing. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, yeah. It's a lot of player damage.
I'd
It's
rather
a good
be
thing.
like, I'd rather just randomly War Factory to counter that play. That's how dumb that play is. But
Yeah.
anyways, Typhoon Specialist. It looks good.
Typhoon. Yeah. Man, Typhoon has always been so good. For
Or
Guzzle,
Giant Spec, right? Just Raiden Spec,
yeah,
Arclights,
for sure. I'd love to see spiciness happen, like speed, but I don't think it's gonna happen here.
Spice,
I mean,
Spice.
these are high stakes games. I mean, the
You
prize
know what
pool,
Spice? Ion Raiden. That's the only Spice we're getting.
yeah. Ooh,
Okay,
Saber.
I'm trolling. Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty good matchup here. I mean, they both have unit SPCs.
Yeah, not bad round one
Typhoon.
for the spider player, actually, right?
Yeah, no, I do prefer that for sure. And Saber, really good pairing with Tarantula, because Tarantula is good chaff clear here.
The problem with Saber Spider again is there's a unit in the sky.
No, it just affects everything. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. It's like, oh, do you mind
I'm
if I
sorry.
interrupt your point because Raiden exists?
I'm sorry. You thought you had a cute play, an idea? No, 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 no. Okay, sorry. I just have to prep for this tournament later, and
No, no,
Raiden
it's okay.
is the dumb thing you need to do.
Get it all out. Get it all out. So we see a lot of crawlers come down here. Arclights, of course, gonna be good here. I was considering,
Interesting.
yeah. What's interesting?
Right, that usually you just defend. You just defend with Arclight Raiden, and you're in a better position than Headbutt. I think. I don't know.
Hmm. Hmm.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, this is interesting. It's like a defensive headbutt almost. Like, I mean, it's kind of aggro, obviously, but a little bit more of a defensive posture here from Guzzle, I would say. Seems like Shark Hunter is a little bit more on the line here, out for blood.
Yeah, Roundwood should be going to Guzzle just because, well, there's no real DPS on the board and
Yeah,
all the crawler chaff coming in.
for sure. It's a lot of crawlers. We have some locks on Tarantula. Maybe he's happy to just get one Tarantula kill at this point. Honestly, not looking too bad for the sledges, surprisingly.
Not bad. He's gonna kill one spider. He might even
Maybe
kill both.
yeah, he might win the round. I'm a little surprised. Maybe the crawlers were just not it.
It's Arclight's OP. That's what you're forgetting.
Yes,
That's what it
yes.
is.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna take it.
Arclight top damage, all the badges, easy.
That's how it goes. Yeah, so as Typhoon Spec, you're very happy to see that. You're gonna have a great crawler answer too. Get a drop here, a bunch of white units, all worth 200.
Rhino is actually one of the keys to the Raiden success because it's a big boy.
Yeah, it's a big
That's all
boy.
it is.
It runs alone, so it wastes the lightning bolts. could be good here. Nothing else jumps out to me. Looks like Farseer jumping out for Shark Hunter here. Pretty good up front, I would say. Like, you can insta lock a Tarantula and get some tempo that way while you wait for the Typhoon. Mustang here for Guzzle. He does have a Saber Tooth here as well. Maybe hoping to kill some Arclights with it. Oh, get some dynamics on the left side here. Crawler trying to take the tower for free, but there is a bodyguard of, looks like a Mustang and a Crawler, so that will be defended.
Yeah, I like this. Mustang plays interesting pickup.
Yeah, I mean, he bought another one, right? He's in it.
I mean, there's a lot of fangs on the board. It makes sense there.
Yeah, although they're so late to the party, they don't interact with the Fangs necessarily.
Yeah, and into like Arclight Sledge, like I don't know. I guess like Mustang HE also is like a threat. I guess he doesn't run the tech. Never mind.
By the way, the Mustang position on his left isolated tower there, it was on the inside instead of the outside, so he does not want it pulled to the flanks. And a lot of players think you buy Mustangs to defend the flanks. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I guess yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. I guess you eventually want Mustangs everywhere if you're like this deep into Mustangs, but maybe you just want to get pulled like this round specifically and just take that tempo here and then deal with the flanks later. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That could be it. Yeah, we'll see if he buys more Mustangs then. Usually you do have to, right? Because you necessitate clicking range. Ooh, okay, hold on. These cards are all really good, but they decide really quickly that they want additional deploy. There was
Improve
really
Wasp
good
is
stuff
not
there.
Raiden.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But there was Underground Threat, which is like best spell in the game. But yeah,
But turn 3 additional deploy, that does make sense. Like as the right line.
Yeah. Well, Typhoon's out. Good pressure on the left tower there.
Mustang.
Yeah.
This could deter Raiden usage, right?
Yeah, I feel like that's the only
Somewhat.
way to deter it is
Just
Mustangs.
blind Mustang, and then like just hard counter the Mustangs because like they're Mustangs, and then be happy. I don't know.
Yep. There's the arcs. Great timing on the arcs. You really want to get them out here and shut down the Mustang experience and get some experience of your own. So it feels like a pretty even game to me. Anybody's game. I do think it's nice that the Typhoon's now out and there's no blue Mustangs yet. I would personally sell the Farseer. 300 supply. I mean, oh,
You
maybe
also kind of need some DPS, right? Like there's like 3 bodies that can't really die that fast.
Yeah, I think that's why he's keeping the Farseer, or maybe he wants the EMP available, but I do think eventually that thing will not perform. But I like this a lot. Like, the tempo spike here of getting Arclight range and shutting down the experience is huge. And look at all the flanks, too. Two shallow
I really
flanks.
like these pulls.
Yep. Now, Mustangs will win while it's warping in, which is actually quite important. Not the case on the left, though.
But there is a defense enhancement, so there was a breakpoint in the if it's even levels.
Yeah, there was attack, though, for bottom and defense for top. So canceled out.
Did it cancel? I swear I saw like a breakpoint.
Oh, we'll have to check after. So I guess the Mustangs do get the job done, probably due to the warping in, but
Yeah,
I mean,
it might have been a mistake, the warping, because the Mustangs like do kill
yeah,
the
and
Arclights,
it
maybe.
levels now. Yeah, tough to say. Like, you do want to win that round. It's your Typhoon round. It's your clicking the Arclight range round. On the plus side, he's now warped in. But sometimes being warped in is not good, right? Like, they can put a Saber there, and you're just stuck on the Saber.
Yeah, you really have to like, if you're gonna do these flanks, you have to put something in the corner to assist it usually.
100%.
There is the Saber, just exactly what you said.
Now we get his own power spike there with the Mustang range.
This looks
Sell
really
button.
good for Guzzle, I think, right? Like,
Yeah.
you need to find a Saber answer now.
Yeah, I'm with you. Where's the sell button going here? He doesn't have to use it, but Farseer would give him a big cash injection, but I don't know how he would use the cash here. He's basically just deploying chaff here. He wants to defend his arc lights. He is predicting these sabers here. If you're predicting the sabers, though, you got to get your own single target.
Wait, what is he waiting for? I'm a bit confused. Like, is he gonna go Raiden? Is that the plan? Well, you got to do it now. I feel like, or you're gonna get rolled by the Mustang.
Yeah, he can afford a Raiden if he's okay. So he floated 350. He is doing a big power spike next turn.
Factory? I don't know. Force? It's like, what do you
Yeah,
do here?
yeah, it's a big unit. I agree. I think it's one of the big units.
But
We
I'd
will
rather be the
see.
Mustang player here, actually. The rare wanting to be the Mustang player. Just make, like, you just have chaff clear and chaff, and then you just have your tank in front. I don't know.
Look how
And a headbutt.
crushing this is. Yeah, this is not very close, and the experience is incredibly important here. And the tempo is a little sketchy too. I mean, they're not working with a big health total here.
Yeah, I don't think you can do this type of play into a Mustang, because, like, Mustang, you have to respect Mustangs. Like, you need sub-crawlers, you need your arc lights, you need a tank, you need everything. And just, like, floating this much money, feeding XP, and, of course, the tempo loss.
Yep.
I don't know.
Oh, he didn't level that Mustang to blue last turn, by the way. That's interesting.
Oh, interesting.
His
He didn't
money
have
must
the
have been
money, I
tight.
guess?
Yeah.
Or he's worried about Raiden? I don't know.
Worried about Raiden so you don't upgrade a Mustang. I don't know
Yeah,
about that one.
I don't know. I don't know, okay? You know, Raiden
You're
doesn't make
so
me think
scared of
straight.
them.
Melter? Arclight Melter headbutt is not... Like, you'd rather be behind your tower, right? Behind a fortified tower or something, but...
What are
it
the
works.
pros and cons here? So let's say he did go for a fortress, right? The fortress doesn't shoot up. So maybe he values that he doesn't want to lose to an air transition. War Factory would have the same issue, but he could have gone Raiden, which would solve every problem. But
I don't know if he's
I
in a
don't know.
position to rate it here, though. I think, like, with the Mustangs, I think there's a world in which
right.
the Mustang
But
player actually gets there, but...
yeah, whereas Melters can tank for the arc lights, which finish off the Mustangs. Is that the thought process? Because you have to finish off the Mustangs, right? You can't have the Melters finish the Mustangs off.
Yeah, I don't like Arclight. I don't like Arclight headbutt. It doesn't
No, this looks bad.
feel good. Like, it's just way better near your tower, but
Yeah, look at the spell differences here. Way more invested for Guzzle, and Bubbles coming out for Guzzle. The EMP will damage them. Big difference here. Melters need to lock on quickly here. Get one on the left, one in the middle.
Arclight stuck on Saber, Melter stuck on Crawlers. It's the common
Yeah.
occurrence with this situation here.
And my concern is that the arc lights fall here, and the Melters are the last thing alive.
Yeah, and Melter's not that good into Saber also. Like,
No,
especially
yeah.
in a headbutt. Like, its only selling point is the range that it has. But, like, with a range double shot, the
Look at
Melter
the bubbles,
shouldn't-
by the way. Living,
Oh,
too.
that's a little bit brutal.
One of them did fall on the left, but that is not much. Now, he
Yeah,
did
Guzzle could
lightning.
take it here.
Lightning was expensive.
I didn't see there was a borrower or temp range, but Guzzle didn't do any of that, right?
Yeah, I did not pay attention for that. But certainly their economies all took a hit there. OMG.
You didn't even think. What? You have to think. What are we doing? I mean, the Raiden beat
Yeah.
all of these trash units, but
Can like
Oh my
sort
God.
of argue for the Badger, but yeah, I'm with you. I think you snap pick the Raiden here. Both players even.
oh my goodness.
Like it just looks good for both players, right?
Yes.
But
It's good for all the players.
but we do have Badgers coming in.
Badger flanks are nice though. Those are very strong right now, I think.
Yeah, you have to be so careful where you position your crawlers. Are these ones up top going? Arrows say
I
no.
like these crawlers though.
Ooh, Subterranean's been very good in the meta lately, and it looks so good on this board here.
For sure.
I like these
Wow.
flanks. These flanks look really, really strong here.
And from both
Melters-
sides.
Yeah, all these flanks make a lot of sense. I think this looks good for Guzzle though, overall.
For sure. Yes.
But, Subterranean Blitz might just be the winner here. Very good against everything except for the Raidens.
We're gonna borrow range and speed from Blue here, but Guzzle just just doesn't want to end the game. He wants to play with this food. No borrows, no temp range.
Yeah, yeah.
We have the Raidens. We should win.
No chain here, which I like. I think you're just worried about the Melter endgame, so I like EMP range.
I actually don't like the Raiden.
Pick
I mean,
it
the
all.
Raiden beats everything, but like you just do Sabertooth range, maybe. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like it's hard. I mean, Raiden's a good unit still, of course, but
Yeah. Well, a bit of a crushing defeat here.
it's the subterranean. It made a huge difference. Like Mustangs don't clear subterranean at all.
Yep.
That's a huge turn. Also, like change of events compared. Guzzle maybe playing a little too greedy.
Could be, yeah. I mean, look at the health totals. Now things are very dicey. Both players are gonna have to loan here.
Wow,
War Factory.
I
Is it
like
is it
this.
time? Is it time? It is time.
It's
Here we
not
go.
blue because he's not rich, but this is basically an
Same
unkillable
concept.
machine. Yeah, and I like
Yeah.
photon, right? Because you won't get
Yeah.
slowed. Like ideally, you want armor because it's I guess a little bit more stats, but I mean, it doesn't get slowed, so it's got to be good.
Yep.
This is a move.
Yeah. I mean, what a ballsy thing to do with your life on the line here. I really like this. The
I think
tenacity
it's
makes.
not. Wait, are you saying this War Factory's ballsy?
Well,
I think
you
it's so
know,
safe. It's like stats. How do you say no to stats?
it's an all-in. That's all I'm
Yes,
saying.
yes, yes,
But
yes.
yeah,
I
I
get what you're
hear you.
saying. Loose crawler
Well,
though is clicked on the other side.
loose is good. That's for sure.
Loose
Maybe
isn't as
subterranean.
good though compared to sub. Like in the
Yes, yes.
Mustang versus sub is like really bad, and then Arc versus loose is bad, but like not that bad if that makes sense.
Yep. No, I agree. Well, War Factory definitely looking unkillable. Although he's losing Melter on the left there. Maybe it doesn't matter. He needs to have some arc lights alive though.
For sure.
Tower may fall at some point here.
Oh, wait. The Mustang player looks
Oh,
like
the EMP.
he's getting it.
EMP's so good against the Melters here. Tower does
No
not fall.
debuff.
Wow. Game one going
Uh-oh.
to Guzzle here.
Okay, so maybe you're right about this being a
It had to
not
be
reliable
blue.
play.
Had to be
No, but
blue.
even if I think it was the loose crawler. Actually, I thought the loose crawler wouldn't do that much, but it looked like it made
Mm,
the big difference in the end, right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I put it
Like
back on the
Mustang
bar.
shaft.
I think it's really good. I think it should be on the bar. But I do think Blitz is honestly more often good lately. I think people are really starting to click that more.
Yeah, especially just the Mustang gamers. It's like the best thing. It's like literally it should be your like one of your main lines into Mustang is getting like spamming crawlers and then clicking sub if their entire board. Like this is why you can't play Mustang only boards, or like that's one of the downside of Mustang only boards is
Yeah,
you're very weak to subterranean, and it
yeah, it's
could
very
hurt you a
true.
lot.
Very true. Like they're already bad into crawlers, and then you can just make your crawlers just complete monsters. And like I really like the amount of ways you can tech against Mustangs in that way. Like you can take health level 2. You can start leveling your crawlers. You can take subterranean blitz. You have all these tools at your disposal, and the Mustang players always has to be so careful.
And even a replicate, like a subterranean replicate, can be deadly sometimes because like again, just a Mustang board cannot handle it, and then replicate's good into Mustang if it gets in. So, and then again, they level 2 off the killing of the Mustang, so like it could be like an exponential problem.
For sure. Raiden's with another win. I don't know
Hmm.
what tally we're at, but Raidens are looking
Has
good.
Raiden lost? I guess the Ion, the Guzzle made Raiden lose one time,
Yes, yes. The one match with Cast. Yeah, I'm
but it was
sure that
standard Raiden. It doesn't count. It doesn't count.
it's like kind of true, yeah. Yeah. It feels like it's also different whether you get it from a drop or whether you commit to it for sure. sure the devs will be looking at these games for some of their data. I mean, I'm sure they're really busy with balance as well, or
Yeah,
at least
they seem to be always aware of what's happening at least, and they always touch. Like they already fixed the rate or fixed. They already touched the rate in at least in the direction. Like
careful, careful.
20%,
Yeah,
20% nerf is great. Like conceptually, it's crazy. Like oh my god, 20% nerf, but that's still
yeah.
Raiden. At the end of the day, it still like kills everything.
It's sizable for sure. Yeah, it depends what it's attacking, right? Like, it still one shots all the medium sized units, I think. Like, I think, yeah,
Yeah,
balls.
yeah, balls and
It might be depending on the enhancements now, which is good. I think that's a moving towards a better direction. Now against giants, yeah, the 20% is massive. So the fact that they're still good outside of that, like, think about that game. We just saw a War Factory die to Raidens. Now imagine the 20% was not there. That War Factory would have melted.
yeah, yeah. It was more so like it wasn't even like it had the DPS. It just the match went on so long. There was so much chaff, so much Mustangs
Yeah,
that
for
eventually just
sure.
gets there. But yeah,
Yeah, Mustangs are what won that game, or rather, like the arc lights were like too close to the line. The
yeah,
shallows
'cause
didn't
just
work
like
out.
defensive, like just sledge arc defense is so strong, and like
Mm,
that's just I don't know. You just not. If also if you gamble the wrong side, like if he's on the opposite side of the spider player, it's just game's over because sledge arc push is like has no threat whatsoever on tower. I don't know.
for sure. So, Guzzle just needs one more win, and then he'll move on to the final 8 here. Shark Hunter on his last life. Um, so this is Group A. We're gonna be doing a group every single week on Saturdays, same time for the most part. Yeah, Guzzle might win 5 in a row. That'd be insane. And so we're going to have 4 group stages total. After these group stages, we're going to have the final 8, which we will get rid of 4 more players, bring it down to a top 4. And then we're going to have another week after that where we will decide the winner. So I'm going to do a quick plug here. Please drop us a follow so you can follow along with this tournament. And this is going to be ongoing like forever. Like esports is going to be here for a long time to come. Um, this is season 2. Season 1 was just before Christmas, and we're going to have another season after this. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm excited to get into this final game here, or
The
what could be the
Raiden,
final
the
game.
Raiden matchup of the time.
Yeah, for real.
Sorry, I'm just have to mentally prepare you for what's about to happen.
No, I appreciate it. You're like grounding me, you know. Like,
No, oh, you wanted to do Typhoon push? No, 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 no. Sledge push? That's adorable. No, no fun.
yeah, I think a patch is coming, um, but
We can pretend. Okay, sorry. Look at this pack. That's not a Raiden. Farseer spec looks
aerial
good.
spec, aerial. Yeah,
Oh, aerial spec. I'm just kidding.
imagine you see giant and aerial. That would be, yeah. But Farseer is really good.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It has no HP, so there's no messing around, but it's still a good pack, I would say. Good specialist, good unit.
Looks like it's the same side for Guzzle. He's feeling that side.
This might even be like a Guzzle formation. Did you see how fast this unit's like snapped?
Yeah, for real. He's got a little macro, just clicks a button. Well, defensive this time for Shark Hunter. Might be what he needs here. Stormcallers do have really good targets here. Might have to sell them eventually, but I think they will be good for several rounds.
Yeah, for sure.
Just playing with the positions a little bit. Don't know if he's gonna leave that arc light, but that's a unique position. It's like a little Triforce, little pyramid. Like it
It's
makes
the
sense.
center crawler that he knows is gonna go there because usually people do inside storm, so people do inside crawler as well to get like the efficiency on one chaff
Yeah,
unit, distracting
yeah.
it all.
Like it pulls everything in, and it makes sense. Arc light's not stuck. Okay, that's good for him. Surely
Center
with,
pull, right? Kinda.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I think it's kind of cool. Maybe I'll play with that a little bit. It's like usually when you center pull, you build way more higher up, right? But he's sticking
Yeah,
to
with
his
fangs.
towers.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Doesn't quite get there. I thought the storms might have had it there in the end game, but also really low HP
Yeah,
total
that's
already.
just like you have a losing match. Well, not losing matchup, but an ASIM push with Sabretooth is a bit
Hmm.
scary.
Ooh,
Subsize arc makes a lot of sense.
makes a lot of sense. Even when you already have some, like
Yeah, because you just want more. Like, we
you
can't
can
go wrong with
justify them
arc
so
light.
easily. Like even when you already have too many, you're like, well, if they only cost 50, I guess I'll put one in your flank. Like
Yeah, for sure.
Guzzle taking his time. He's taken his time a lot throughout today. Really careful here. A lot of the choices here don't seem good, but skipping is a
I
good
think
choice
sub
here.
arc was also maybe pickable. Like, yeah, he already has 2 arcs. He definitely wants more arcs, but I guess he's prioritizing the wasp tempo, perhaps.
Yep. Well, looks good, and with Shark Hunter on such a low HP total, I could see this Wasp start snowballing things to a favorable position, but look at that. Wasp
It's
of his
just
own.
jump wasp. We don't care about this alleged price increase. We keep
Yeah.
watching.
He's deciding where to put it. He's shown 3 different locations so far. Left tower cheese, deep flank. Now he's just sticking it near the H pad.
D flank is like the better place to put it because like you assume fortified tower, so you put it on flank. But again, he read that last time. I think it was him who, I forget which match it was, but someone read this wasp play.
Yep. Yep, goes for the deep flank. We do have the arc light there in the shallow. So it's all going to come down to the wasps, I would imagine. Might be a lot left on the ground, though. We'll have to see.
It looks like blue's wasps get in a little bit faster.
Yep, despite warping in. Just an open tower.
Yeah, tower time might be a little bit crazy here. We'll see how it happens with the wasp v wasp.
Yeah, I think it looks good for Guzzle. We will see.
Yeah, keeping his saber alive. Oh no, they split.
What?
Split.
Oh okay.
God.
Wasp level, by the way.
Yeah, that's scary. Like especially if you're doing that, you're committing to this jump drive commit or like I guess counter.
Come on, amp core, amp core. No, heavy armor.
For the wasp, right?
I feel like you have to take the heavy armor here, like.
Yeah, you put it on the saber too.
But
But
Shark didn't.
I also forgot. He's Farseer spec, and he bought wasp with the Farseer spec. He doesn't care.
Doesn't care. Yeah, I don't know. Oh my gosh. The jump drive?
And level 2 wasp can kill a fortified tower if he ever did that. So.
Yeah.
But looks like it's the wasps are on the line.
I really don't know about that jump drive there for Guzzle.
I don't know about any of the jump drive.
Yeah. Do people not know you can sell wasps or something?
No, but like this whole tech is like, just buy the Raiden. I'm sorry.
All right, relax.
Like, I don't know. like you can do other things on aggro, right? You know that maybe are better, perhaps. I could be wrong, but
perhaps.
Oil
Look
is
at that mirror.
brutal though.
That mirror is hilarious. Crawler wasp,
Any
tit for
bets?
tat. Yeah, I mean,
who wins?
that's just a coin flip. I think there's no other interactions taking place. That's just like
Air spec. Is there an air spec breakpoint?
Oh.
I don't know. Wait, why did his crawlers clear? Why did he clear? What the heck?
No
why did he get crushed?
Okay, maybe there was a breakpoint. That is way too crushing. I don't know. I think.
No, like the crawler clear was faster. That's the reason why I won. But why so hard? Something happened?
Yeah, I don't know. It looked like the wasp attacked way earlier for one player for some reason.
RNG?
Could be. Definitely makes a difference though.
Level 3 wasp. That is a bit scary, I guess.
For sure. Though. But there's a farce here. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
So it's unit drops, right? We didn't have them yet. Yes.
Rhinos looks good, I think. And
these aren't Raidens.
No, but the Rhino is a key ingredient in this Raiden meta. It's just what you do. I shouldn't be revealing the secret sauce. There's a tournament happening.
Yeah, be careful.
But it knows the secret sauce.
Yeah. Yeah, with the oil on the board here, maybe you attack the left side. I wouldn't mind a sentry for either side here. Take care of that pesky crawler.
Wow, spider into saber ball.
Does that make sense? Did he take subsidized Mustang or Arclight? Sorry, he did, and he still takes the tarantulas. Like, bro, how many Arclights do you need? Guess he just wants
That's
the bodies.
it's a bit weird. Is he selling the tarantulas? Is that? Yeah, he sold the tarantula. Okay, so he's just okay. Wait, no.
Okay.
What did he sell? Did he sell a tarantula?
Yeah, he sold a
There's
tarantula.
3, I think.
Yes. Still
But
surprising to me though. He is using it to clear crawlers. That part makes sense to me. But the lack of okay.
yeah. No fun messing around here. It's straight to good unit.
I think Guzzle is still gonna take this round, but
Depends how this ball interaction happens because he can't one shot the ball, right?
I'm just like the Wasp, man. The Wasp's gonna kill everything. No?
Which one? The Guzzle's wasp? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, maybe they take hits and then they get reduced in number.
I really like this defense though by blue because you oil the main push and then you threaten the left side, the weak side tower.
Yeah, I like it too.
Not going to be enough.
The Wasps are going down, so yeah, it looks like I was wrong, and Shark Hunter will take it with the Raiden. That's going to be really good tempo for him, and he needs that given his low HP total.
Yeah, you can't make any like you can't do any greedy plays with this type of opener.
Yeah.
And
It's
at
a lot of-
levels, that's
yeah,
huge.
it's a lot of experience. And Raiden is a good leveler, right? Like better than Vote, I would say.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because you also have like the chain effect, which impacts that as well.
Yeah.
And of course, in the Raiden mirror, Raiden levels matter.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You might even take offensive tactics for some reason. But that might be too much tempo loss. I don't know.
Yeah.
Efficient light in a Raiden mirror. And where tempo matters a lot. But maybe I disagree.
Guzzle skipping.
Yeah, I like to skip. He's going for another angle on the tower with the jump drive, which should work, depending on how this Farseer interaction works, but it should be busy.
Yeah, that's a nice move. I like that. The Farseer has been pretty non-influential here. Oil's been very influential, really keeping everything together there, making the storms worth their salt. Though I do think their time might be running out.
Yeah, I think you want to sell this Wasp, and then question yourself, why did I have this Wasp?
Yeah.
And spend 100 on a tech. But he got free Arclight, so like, how can you lose?
Zap zap, the balls got demolished. Definitely winning left side is Shark Hunter, but the Wasp might change that. Looks like the tower's fortified though.
Yeah, we'll see if this level 1 rating can clean up during debuff.
Yeah, I doubt it, but maybe the Wasp can finish everything off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they will have to turn around. They can't fire until they turn around. So a nice
Yeah,
little
the Wasp
flank
getting
there.
it done. Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe he got his 100 worth for jump drive. Maybe.
Maybe.
Or unit. Oh, Rhino. Come on. Do they know?
Do they know? Don't tell
It's-
anybody.
Photon Rhino is actually what you do. It's just so good. It's stats and it can't be impede.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And like, you kind of care about the movement speed as well, so not being slowed by the
Yeah,
EMP's
for sure.
effect. Yeah.
It's just stats. You just want stats that runs in. That's all you need.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's like half of why worms are good, right? Like literally
Hmm.
just the stats.
Yeah, it's like so hard to kill. And then like the thing that kills high stats is gets countered with text. No, they don't know about the secret. I guess Fortress is better than Rhino because Fortress beat the Rhino here and it's a tank, but
I guess so.
I guess it makes sense. Both get into range Raidens.
Yep, time to tech them. This is definitely an arms race here. And players don't have fangs this time. Fangs are pretty much agreed upon to be an essential ingredient as like the best chaff. So it's gonna be a bit
Yeah,
more
interesting.
bloody
He goes
for
for a
that.
little greedy
That
because
is
he's like gambling
greedy.
that he doesn't move the wasp, but like
Yep.
he's probably not moving the wasp because the wasp doesn't do anything other than protect flame.
I think he's low on time because he's gonna leave that beacon. I think he's like stressing to get the turn done. Yeah. But it's a good thing for him that he did undo that.
Yeah, I also don't know about these balls. Like you're just feeding XP and just do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, they've not been good. At least I don't think. Good enough though, I suppose.
The wasp though is tanking.
Zap. Yeah, I mean, it's wasting some shots.
More Raiden, better than less Raiden.
Fortress still alive.
Yeah, that Fortress is doing work.
100%.
But debuff though. Just kidding.
Yeah, it looked like it might, but that's another 1k damage.
Did we burn the missile? Ah, so close.
Shark
And
Hunter
it's
coming
looking,
down to, yeah, not
I
much.
don't know. What do you do besides buying a
EMP and,
Raidens?
yeah,
Absorption. Wait, or heavy armor. They both could be good. Like
both could
heavy
be
armor on a
good.
fort.
Yeah,
I don't know about orbital.
I'm not sure about
Maybe.
Orbital, but maybe. I don't know. I like the absorption, maybe.
He already has a heavy armor, I guess, before, so he put it on the fort. That's a pretty good play. That's a huge.
Yeah,
Like you can't kill that thing,
you cannot
or it's
kill
gonna
it.
take a long time.
Yeah, that's like 10 Raiden shots with his biggest Raiden. That's
It'll absorb
42
it though,
seconds.
right? It'll never die. It'll just be
Yeah.
life leech.
Well, there's EMP there for Guzzle. Could be a bit of a big difference there. I am wondering if this
Yeah.
Raiden is killable with the absorption.
It just depends what it shoots at, right?
Yeah, for sure. It could get
Missile
stuck
all
on
the
stuff.
chaff. Guzzle, I need a like you need to borrow and just close the gate. Like why do we just stop? Like why are we greeting? I don't like this how he does this.
Yep.
You
Different
have him
tech
on
choice
death's
there.
door.
Chain. No, I agree. I think the missiles should come out. They look really good. Like, as we said earlier, there's not much fangs. And, like, Crawler's notoriously bad against missiles late game.
Yeah. Loose. And the
Loose.
headbutt is like you don't even get that loose, you know? Like
Yeah. Yeah, it's better than nothing, but it's not great. No
I
chain,
think
though, for Guzzle.
EMP should be the better tech just because it turns off techs.
Yeah, you gotta take it. It's essential, right? You gotta take it at some point. Well, Orbital's there, possibly helping out a little bit. It's gonna come down to EMPs here, and you gotta, everyone keep your eyes on this level 3 Raiden here with Absorption.
It's gonna be stuck on the wasp though.
Oh, it's falling
That's
really
brutal.
fast. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Wow.
Is that Guzzle
This
getting
wasp?
through?
This wasp also actually like top damage all game. Like it seemed like it did a lot.
Yeah. That's gonna be it.
Wow.
Guzzle making it through with a 2-0 over Shark Hunter here. He is our second player to get through along with Cast.
Congrats. Rated good unit.
Yep.
He played the mirror really well though. Seems like he's got a good understanding of how to approach it.
Yeah, I agree. Really cool WASP dynamics. The EMP was a big difference maker there. Heavy armor on Fortress was just extremely efficient, right?
Yeah.
Subsidized arc light. He did sell the storm at the end. Yeah, I thought it was really clean from Guzzle. So we're going to have a couple minutes of break here. We might be able to get Bearlike in if he's free. We're not sure yet. I'm going to take a quick bio break, Sako. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Feel free to entertain or take a break yourself.
All right. Sounds good. Rated good unit. That's all I have to say. I'll be right back.
All right, I am back. You still there, Sako?
Hello, hello.
Hello. So we've got Bearlick here in the channel. We're going to talk a bit about, season 2, how we're feeling about Raiden, thoughts on the tournaments. Hello, Bearlick, are you there? Just going to
Oh,
let.
hi. Yeah,
Hey,
I'm here.
welcome. How you doing?
Um, Pretty busy, but yeah, there are lots of bugs and all that stuff.
Yeah, I can imagine you're busy for sure. Did you watch the games today?
I watched the last game.
Nice. Bit
Uh,
of a
yeah,
Raiden mirror.
yes, I watched that one.
Nice. How are you feeling about Raiden so far and about, season 2?
I think seem to change the meta a lot, like because the new starting unit and the new unit Raiden and the saber tooth change all that stuff. Um, I do feel the game feels a little bit fresh now. For Raiden, I think it is definitely strong. But for now, I have no idea how strong it is. I'm still waiting for more data and more tournament results. I do watch the Asian in-game tournament, and I think in the final, both players use Raiden. And from what I heard, for the season 1 of MAG1, there's a lot of Raiden in it too. So I think Raiden is still strong, even after the nerf. So we are thinking nerfing its attack speed and also making the chain tag a little bit stronger. But I'm not sure about it yet because it's maybe still too early to tell. So I still need to watch more games and to collect more data.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely seems strong so far, even after a big nerf, but there's a lot to play with. Of course, with any big patch like a season 2, it is going to take time to gather that data because so much has changed in the ecosystem. Um, Personal interesting question for me is how does the targeting work with chain? Because it feels a little random to some players.
Yeah, the chain is yeah. Well, if you feel it's random, that's the right feeling because it is random. It's just
Ah.
choosing a random target. In it used to be choosing the nearest target. Then when it's chain to a crawler, it's just you cannot even see the chain effect because the two units just be too close. That's why we change it to random. Also, I do have a question for you guys.
Mhm.
Because we were discussing about how strong is Raiden, and also we were thinking like, do you guys think that Raiden is strong only because the chain tag, or is that Raiden is strong despite without the chain tag?
Hmm. What do you think, Sako?
I think it's probably a combination of chain and EMP also because like Melter should be a good response into the Raiden, but if you can EMP the range away or the fraction or the suck, I think that also makes it very strong. But yeah, I think chain maybe is like the main selling point because like default Raiden is still strong, but like not that oppressive. But once you get range and chain, then you can get some like early. Like the problem is it kills key units too fast. I think like you can put your marksman as far back as you want. You can put your phoenix as far back as you want. You can position your chaff however you want, but the arc lights still die very fast. So it feels like it just a unit that just does so much so fast. And then if you can kill key targets early, or you can literally counter most of the units that would counter Raiden fast, then
Hmm.
I think it becomes like very hard to solve. Like I really don't know how to solve the Raiden other than playing it myself at the moment.
Yeah. I guess you could make chain more expensive, so it's harder to get into. But
Yeah, the chain tag actually have a bigger range reduction on the test server, but
mm,
we thought because on the test server we thought that Raiden probably is too weak, so we both the chain and the fork do not reduce as much range as before. So the chain actually reduce 25 range of Raiden. Maybe we should go for that route, or and also increase its price a little bit. Also, I think some players are saying that the 60 radius of the jump is too large. What is your guys' opinion about that?
hmm. I'm not really sure. What do you think, Sako?
Yeah, I think I don't know 'cause it's hard to like analyze Raiden games because just so much happens so fast. But yeah, I think it just maybe it's the radius because it just kills again like just the key units too fast. Like
Okay.
and it's hard to position around it. Like even sometimes your tower just randomly gets sniped also really fast. Like if it's an aggro player, but yeah, maybe it's the radius is a good idea.
Also, there's this um, on test server first. There was this bug that preventing Raiden's chaining to the tower, and we fixed it. So that is part of the reason that Raiden being strong. Also, there is this change that on the test server, Raiden cannot chain from air to ground, and it cannot chain from ground to air.
Yeah.
Also, we also changed it at the last minute because we
Mm.
think it is being too weak. Maybe these two change make the Raiden chain tag too strong.
Yeah, it's a very interesting idea. It is kind of frustrating to shoot at like one wasp and then you don't get to attack any ground. So I can understand why it may be that way. But
Yeah, we also thought maybe player will not. It's more intuitive to player to see it change from air to ground.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we have the winner here who just advanced in the final slot, Guzzle. Welcome, Guzzle. Are you there? Might need a
Yes.
second.
Yes,
Ah,
I'm here.
welcome, welcome. Congrats. That was a really well played series there. You seem to know your Raiden quite well there. I think teching EMP, for example, was a nice call there at the end. I was curious if you'd like to give any feedback or opinions with Bear like about your thoughts on Raiden.
think it's just a stable unit. It's far more stable than other air units like Phoenix. Like you can just build a lot of Raidens and they will eventually work. And there's not really an actual counter to Raiden. Because, like, for example, melting points. Once it gets EMP'd, it's kind of useless. And photon cloaking is just too expensive. You first need to unlock the Overlord, then you still need to spend 300 on the photon cloaking. You don't have this econ, and by the time you get all these things down, your HP is like below 500. So, and the problem is it's just too stable. There's no counter. You can just go Raiden in whatever situation you like, because it it can also it's just too stable and it has too much functions. And yeah, that's what I think about Raiden. It's just too stable and it's strong, powerful. There's no anti.
Yeah, it makes sense. It can be a little tough to anti-air big giants like that, especially with EMP on the board. EMP is like a tricky concept in general. I feel it's a really difficult thing to balance around because some units really rely upon techs.
Yeah, and it also has a 150-meter range. It means that a lot of units just doesn't work so well against Raiden because they need to push forward. And this shortage of uh, distance is
Mhm.
making a lot of things hard. Like if you're on the defending side and the attacking side is going massive Raiden, and you try to use Mastan, but Mastan is afraid of fire and a lot of anti small unit stuff, right? And it's a combination. For me, for now it's a perfect unit. Its only weakness is that its DPS is not that significant as other units, but it's still like a lot higher than Marksman and Phoenix.
Yeah.
So I guess there has to be a counter to Raiden, or else Raiden will still be the mainstream unit.
hmm I'm sure lots more changes will be coming, but yeah, we got a lot of interesting data today. What was your thoughts on the group overall, Guzzle? It was an interesting group. I know you are somewhat of a new player, I think I've been told, and Matthew might as well. So, what are your thoughts on today?
And I think Cass is a really good player on playing builds. I think he kind of already made he already had decided what he's going to play at the start of the game. And most of the time, like me and the other 201 player, we are just unprepared for what he's going to do. But because I played Cass before, and I know that these two are actually part of his sets of builds, and they are quite powerful. And he's very good at uh, catching the timing, uh, the timing that he can make a breakthrough on the weakness of the enemy side. And I think Cass is a quite interesting player.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, in your first game, I believe you were missile SPC and you did not take quick cooldown. What was your thoughts on that?
I don't remember the exact situation. I thought about taking the quick cooldown, but I don't think it's gonna work uh that well because it still takes like 100,
hmm
right? 100 Macabellum dollar, right? Um,
yeah.
and the problem with the first game is I just can't think of a way to solve those sandworms because they will be continued to level up, and there's no economic way to deal with it. Like I can't go sandworm myself because cast sandworm will have higher levels, and it's very critical. And well, if I do something else like go Raiden, then I do not have shields for my other units. And cast units are in a relative safe position to keep DPS in my unit. So I just can't solve this problem. I don't know what to do. If I go factory, war factory, he can smoothly transition to melting point, then I still results in a lose. So I just don't know how to solve that situation. I guess maybe what I should do is I should go aggressive at the start of the game. So like because I'm starting with Sabertooth, right? I can just go aggressive like my other games. Then maybe I will stand a chance.
Yeah, I remember Sako was mentioning Sabertooth being good on aggro, not so much on standard, but that was a tough game. I mean, as you said, Cast has really interesting strategies.
The reason I go with standard game is because I miss those specialists. I thought that can give me some advantage in the early game, and I actually did give some advantage. But that sandworm, I just I just don't know how to deal with it in that position.
Yeah. Sako, any questions for Bear Like or Guzzle?
Not really any questions. It was just an exciting series to watch, especially the Cast and Guzzle match was probably my favorite.
Yeah, for sure. Bear Like, would you like to give any closing remarks?
Hi. Yes. I yeah. I think the tournament is very interesting, and it shows a lot of showed me a lot of what is meta and what all the balancing issue in the game, and it have been very helpful for me. And also, I understand that Raiden is strong right now, and change is coming very soon.
Sounds good. All right, thanks everybody. Nice interviews. Yeah, you guys are welcome to go. I'm just gonna be closing out the stream here. So next
Okay.
week, goodbye everyone.
Thank
Next
you.
week,
Bye bye.
we're gonna have another Group B, same time, Saturday. So feel free to drop us a follow so you can keep up with us. And yeah, more awesome stuff to come. See you all around. Bye bye.